Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest
Down to the queens.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest, the best weekly Stardom podcast anywhere in the world. I'm, as always, Alex, and I'm joined by Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Hi, Alex. It's always weird doing this stuff because, like, I don't know, like, I feel like it just like my brain's a little bit different on Wednesdays than it is on Tuesdays. We used to do it on Wednesdays, but yeah, I'm here. I got a donut with me. I got a coffee with me, uh, half off at the coffee. I've said it before. There's a Dunkin' by my house, so I go to Dunkin' like every couple days. So I'm here. I'm energized. There's stuff to talk about, for better, for
There
worse.
is. Yes. I had
Highs
Duncan
and
for the
lows,
first
I would say.
time as well, and I thought of you.
For the
Um,
first time?
we don't
Oh,
have
yeah, I
Duncan
guess.
here,
Yeah, I was gonna
so
say
it was only
fair.
because I was in England. So I didn't even know they had it in England. I won't lie to you. And it's probably different anyway, given how much stuff is illegal in Europe that Americans are allowed to eat. But it was nice. It was good.
Yeah, Duncan's interesting because not to hammer on this point because I like it, but it's also like not as good as like alternatives in a lot of ways. Like growing up, I liked it more than Starbucks, for example, because I liked the frozen coffee, like the
Mm.
like the coffee shakes there, and they were really good. Um, but now I don't really like frozen coffee anymore.
Oh,
So like their regular coffee isn't as good as other places. Um, that I'm trying not to give publicity to because I don't drink there no more. But yeah, so it's kind of like, but it's all right.
that's fair. Well,
They have good
this
breakfast
show,
sandwiches. That's what I usually get.
I see, that's nice. But this show is brought to you by the 5 Star Network.co. Head on over to the 5 Star Network.co for all of the great articles and podcasts from the wonderful world of wrestling. And also head on over to the 5 Star Network's YouTube channel where this show goes up, Actress Stage goes up, and the No Limit Wrestling show goes up. There was a new No Limit Wrestling that dropped last week, where you,
Yes,
Xavier, and Scott got to talk about Arisa Nakajima, and I did listen to it. It was good. I got a few mentions in there because I am really important to the ecosphere, and my ego was swelled.
you
So
you and your God complex. Um, yeah, no, we got to talk about some matches. Afterwards, we watched some other matches from Marisa Nakajima that like we were like, damn, we should have watched this beforehand and talked about it on the show because we watched like her versus Kana together the night that we recorded that right after. Um, and we were just like, damn, like Nakajima's just so good, and she is so good, and we got to talk about that a lot on the show. So I do recommend you guys go check that out at the 5 Star Network YouTube channel because it was a great time. It was probably my favorite element that we've done because I mean me Scott and Xavi have like a very natural chemistry, I think, because we do calls every week pretty much, and we talk about wrestling. We have very similar senses of humor. Um, and on top of that, Risa Nakajima is one of the best wrestlers ever. So getting to kind of give her flowers, and even though by the end we all kind of were like wanting to cry, and we didn't really want, like, we were just like bummed out. It was a very meaningful and a very important episode to me, Xavier and Scott. So I would really love it if you guys check it out.
yeah, no, it was good, and yeah, you guys were fun. Um, that is all that though. We do have a lot to get onto, so we can't really
We
patter
do,
too
and
much.
I'm late. Yeah.
Yes. So Stardom wrestlers outside of Stardom. Pretty big week for that. Momo Watanabe challenged and
Mhm.
lost to Mercedes Mone in the main event of Capital Collision. Um,
Yes.
a very good match, I would say, even with the bad production.
It was quite good. Bad production. Walker's a great commentator. I can't say the same for his partner on that show. She's she's not as good as she used to be at commentary. And yeah, the production was pretty ass. I could only get it to 480p, so that wasn't fun. Like I couldn't find it anywhere that it doesn't matter. I'm not buying a strong show. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, it was a good match. I thought Momo, as always, is just kind of like a charisma powerhouse in America. I just feel like she really comes across super well over here, in a way that I think maybe not so much in the 5 star, but in this year has kind of been lost for her. She just really came across great in that match. Even though the styles didn't like they clashed pretty heavily, like they didn't really uh that match shouldn't have worked. You know what I mean? Like I feel like stylistically they just don't really make sense together, but I thought it was a very, very good match, regardless of their style differences. And I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was pretty good, and I think the only issue was that, like, Momo's kicks weren't picked up on the audio and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um,
It was a
you
rough show for that because there were some
Yeah,
good matches on it. It just was disconnected. Like Zach versus Teton was a good match. It just kind of felt like it was like in a vacuum and like there was just no
mm,
crowd. Like it just didn't the atmosphere did not live up to anything ever. Even though there was a fuck the Tories chant in that match, what I found very
pretty
funny
sick.
because it was in Washington D.C.
Or T-Town.
And Zach even said that he was like, "We're in fucking America. What are you talking about?" I thought that was funny, but yeah, bad show in terms of production, but the wrestling was good, and the main event was the best of the show, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, no, it was well received, and you could tell Mercedes wanted to wash off the stink of the Baker match. It was very funny. So a match that has been like scraped from existence, by the way. Like they do not mention the Baker thing at all.
They
It's
probably
really
shouldn't.
funny. Yeah, no, no, I wouldn't. On the pre-show, then it was well of that card. Hanako and Mina Shirakawa beat Viva Van and Trisha Dora. It was a pretty solid tag. I
Yeah,
actually liked what
that was
Hanako
alright.
was doing. I thought she
Yeah,
was good.
I think that she might have gotten like a fire lit on her ass in America.
Mm.
I haven't seen much of her stuff, but it felt that way in that tag match.
All right. Um, on another front, Aya Sakura teamed with Sakura Hirota in the team Sakura Hirota, which is
I
incredible.
love that. I love there was that video of Aya
Yeah.
Sakura being like, "Why wouldn't it be like Aya Sakura or like Aya Sakura Hirota?" She's like, and Sakura Hirota's like, "Why do you hate the name Hirota, huh? Do you not like me?
That's
Do you
crazy.
not like the legendary Sakura Hirota? How dare you? Our team name is Sakura Hirota."
So fun. They went out in the first round, sadly, of the dual shockwave, which is not
Goddamn
a
shame.
round robin anymore. It's a knockout tournament now.
Yeah,
And
there's
they
only like
went to a
5, 6 teams now.
That's true. That's true. They went to a 10-minute draw and then lost because I think they had a longer combined experience because
Yes.
Hirota has wrestled for so long,
And then
and I
she
think
blamed Aya. She was like, "Why couldn't you have debuted more recently?" And she's
that's
like, "You've been
insane.
wrestling for 30 years." Not
Yeah, the
literally
count was
20,
like
but
10,000 days or something, and I just went, "How
or
the
no,
fuck?"
wait. Holy fuck, wait. It's been nearly 30 years for Sakurada.
Yeah, she did retire for a while though,
Yes,
didn't
but
she?
I think she's 28 years since her debut.
Yeah,
Something like
that's
that.
crazy. Interesting. Um, and then I don't think there's any other Joshi indie stuff beyond the obvious. Was there anything I'm missing? I
Um,
know Mina was announced for Rev Pro's Global Wars, which I mean makes
it
sense.
doesn't really count because she's barely signed, but Sareee Ano was on the Unagi festival called
Oh
I Hate
yeah,
the Word Festival. Um, and that was the name of the show. But yeah, I
nice.
didn't get to catch that show yet, but it looked kind of fun.
They had Team Eccentric on that, which is
Yes,
pretty
I know
beast.
that's why I
I,
want to
I can't
watch
wait
it.
to see that. I'm not watching
Yeah,
the Ciorianos match. That looked weird, really weird. I'm not about that life.
they were in uncomfortable shoes. That was the gimmick.
Yeah, and I feel like that would just got uncomfy.
Uh,
I don't
uh,
know.
there was somebody found it on YouTube
Oh no, I
today.
saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, and not for the reason that you would want it to be found on
No,
YouTube.
no. What a fandom. What
Yeah.
a what an existence. Anyway, we had good stuff though. In the main event of
Yes.
Sareee-ISM, Maya Iwatani and Sari beat Chihiro Hashimoto and Veni in what ended up being a dream match. And this match has got all the plaudits in the world. Watching it in the Discord, watch party was insane because like a move would happen and then it would just be, what the fuck? What the fuck? What
Yeah.
the, like 20 messages of
I
people just
start
losing their
crying,
mind.
bro. I start crying at a certain point. I
I
like
can imagine.
legitimately.
Yeah.
I start like my eyes start tearing up. I was like, this is what the fuck? Because I Scott had already seen it. Like I said, me, Scott, and Xavier watch a lot of wrestling together.
You
Scott
watched
had
it
already
right
seen
after,
it.
didn't you?
I watched it the night at like the day after, yeah. Um, Scott already seen it, and Xavier had work, so I was like, you know what? I'll save the main event. I'll watch it with Xavier and Scott, and that'll be what I do. So we watched it, and legitimately, you can ask them. I was screaming like half of the match, uh, and it was also very funny because before the match, during the VTR, I was like, you know, Sareee seems like a really just nice person, like just like a fun person to be around, a very kind person, very like sociable. She seems like a really chill and kind person. Then afterwards, I legitimately said, "I think we need to put her in jail.
Yeah.
That's not what human like. You shouldn't be able to do that." Because that headbutt, bro,
Oh
that
my
was
god.
not okay.
It was the sickest headbutt I've seen in a long time.
And it
That
was
was
so
that was
well
ridiculous.
placed too, like because like that was the finish. Like it was the headbutt,
Mm.
and then she hit the finish, and like that, it was like yeah, that was what sent it home. That is like a perfect way to do a headbutt. For those who hate shoot headbutts, I think that even they, if they saw the match, would be like, yeah, that makes sense that was where
Yeah,
you would
that is
put the
far
shoot
from the
headbutt.
nastiest thing that anybody did. We're okay.
Yeah, yeah, that was
Um,
tremendous. After the match, Mayu had like a fucking welt on her head. I was like, what even happened to her? Like, I know she got beat up, but like, like, it was just, it was my favorite match of the year. The first and only probably 10 of the year that I gave out. Because I'm very stingy with tens.
mhm.
So yeah, one of my favorite matches that I've seen like ever.
Yeah, this match was so good that afterwards I really just went, we have to acknowledge Mayu is not
Which is very
offhand, not
funny.
jokingly, like Mayu is one of the best wrestlers ever, ever. Like no doubt
Which is
about it
very
now.
funny because I feel like you should have been there because you've seen Mayu for the
I
past
was, but I think there's a difference. Once you have one of
6
those
years.
upper echelon matches, it's impossible to
This is
deny.
the first match I've rated a 10 for her,
Mm,
mainly because I haven't rated uh what I think is her best stuff. Um, because that was all before I started rating stuff. So
yeah.
this is the first match I've given a 10 to her. But yeah, she's up there. She's up
Hmm.
like legitimately on my greatest wrestler ever list right now. It's her, um, Akira Hokuto, and Arisa Nakajima are like the top three.
That's fair. I cannot blame you, honestly.
I think
Um,
Sarie's also making her way up there just because she's had the
slowly,
most absurd year.
slowly but surely. Now this tag was great. It has currently a 9.57 on Cage Match. It is like point 0.10 behind Danielson versus Swerve, and I think that's insane to even
Yeah.
consider that there was a match almost that good.
And like
Um,
that match had the like emotional aspects to
Dude,
it
Danielson
too.
Swerve is like an all timer easily.
Yeah.
So for this tag, the Sareee-ISM tag, to be even close says a lot. And I am going out on a limb. I think this is one of the best Joshi tag matches ever. You can put it up there with any of the peak AJW stuff you want, and I would argue that this is just as good. So
Yeah.
yeah, if you haven't seen it, if you've been unfortunate enough not to see it, go out of your way to see it. It is legitimately
100%.
like the best women's match all year, best women's match in a long time. Insane match.
It's
Just
quite impressive how much like this match like which it was just a straight up tag match, no real heat. I mean, Sareee and Hashimoto are Sareee and Hashimoto obviously, so like
mm,
there was that was heated, but like otherwise it's like Sareee and Venny tag more than they face each other. Mayu doesn't really interact with these wrestlers very often. Like there it wasn't like a blood feud. There wasn't any stakes. For that to evoke so much emotion out of me, I was like, that is objectively impressive.
mhm.
Because like I was laughing at points, I was like I said, tearing up
Mayu
at
accidentally
points.
hitting Sareee
Yeah,
at one
Mayu
point
starts to
instead
beat the
of
fuck out of Sorry and
Venny.
be like, "Oh no, my bad."
That is prime Mayu. That right there is
Yeah, I
is why
died
we love Mayu.
laughing. That's what I mean. Is that's like it evoked several emotions out of me which for a match that was just a like, this match is gonna be killer, a random dream match type of thing, is impressive. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like that
for
doesn't
sure.
usually happen.
Yeah, I don't want to stick on that too long because we do have
I understand,
some
but
interesting stuff.
that
But
was
yeah,
undoubtedly the
genuinely,
best match of the weekend. So,
oh,
uh,
full on best match of the year. It's going
yeah,
to be
best
very
match of
hard
the
to
year.
top this. Um, that show did come. Was it a day after? 2 days after the 5-star Grand Prix final. This is in the Musashino Forest Sports Plaza main arena. They did 2,108 fans here, which is down from last year. So
400 down, 400 people.
one of the very first times I think you see the effects of the departures and stuff because they really loaded this up and they were down year on year despite giving away a title match, despite Mayu versus Maika, despite the other semifinal. I think that was the only was they had on this one. Um,
Yeah, I
this was
will say,
Typhoon Day.
yes, it was Typhoon Day,
Yeah, I don't think
which
that really.
affected Osaka. No, it affected Osaka way more. But
Yeah,
it
yeah.
did affect Tokyo to some degree.
To me, I feel like if you had tickets, you'd go anyway. Like people are really stupid. Like if they had tickets, they just go
Like I said,
regardless.
I think like it was more of a like if you were running a show in southern Japan or
Mm,
even just southern of Tokyo, I don't think you were going. Like I think that's why uh, the Noah show was so poorly attended. Obviously, Noah hasn't been great, but I think they would have gotten more than they did in Osaka,
yeah,
Ideon, and that's why I probably think Marigold was a bit lighter than I even expected because like they did fine numbers, but it wasn't as good as I would expect from a opening show for a tournament. So I imagine it affected Osaka and southern Japan a bit more than Tokyo,
that's fair.
which
That
Musashino
reminds me
is
to
is in Tokyo,
get that Noah show up because Marigold was part of it. Wow, a 3.6 for the show on Cage Match. That is crazy. Was it really that
which is
bad?
strange. It was fine. It was just like a bland Noah show that
Dude,
like
people hated the
happens.
show. What the fuck?
It's it's
You know what? Never mind.
strange.
Yeah, I don't understand Puro. But anyway, the 5-star finals kicked off with Hazuki and Koguma beating Aya Sakura and Sayaka Kurara.
One
Koguma
other
beat.
small thing about the venue, if it was full, I think it would have been great. Because like the acoustics were good. I thought that the vibe was good. It's just that there were not that many people for
Yeah,
a
it's a 10,000
10,000
seat venue.
venue.
Like it's
Yeah.
big.
So like yeah, the fact that it wasn't full and it wasn't seemingly close to full was the bigger problem than the venue itself. I thought that the venue itself was like really nice and
Yeah.
I would love to see New Japan run it, for example. I think it has good atmosphere to it. It's just
All
if
right.
you could fill it, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you got it more 2,000. Yeah, Koguma beat Aya Sakura for her team with a diving body press in 10.5 minutes. This is
It
good,
was a
really
good
good,
match.
energetic opener. Like exactly the kind of match you want to stick on this opening thing. Aya
This
and
match
Sayaka were like rookies with fire, and FWC got to play the like shitheads on top, and it was just really well done.
it's quite impressive because this is like one of the lower end FWC matches, and it was still quite good. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like this is what I mean by like Kazuki and Koguma should just be forever tag team champions at this point because like this was a very good match and it was one of the weaker of their year. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that's where we're at with Kazuki and Koguma. Give them the belts yesterday.
I agree. Do you have anything else on that, or
No, but speaking of which,
no?
the God League was announced right after that match, uh, which is cool.
It was. Uh, I don't know what to say. I didn't take note of that.
It starts October 26th and ends
It's
December
long, isn't it?
8th.
Yeah, yeah, they're like going long
It's a
with it,
month
which
and a
is
bit,
interesting.
yeah.
World
We'll see
Tag
what that
League
looks
for
like.
New Japan is usually trying out some Western team. I wonder if they're going to do that here, where they're going to be like, "Hey, we like you. Do
Please
you want
bring
to
in
come
the
over?"
Renegades. Please just bring in the goddamn Renegades. I've been begging.
They're
I've been
too busy
pleading.
losing on Ring of Honor. They should get Maya and Jada, aren't they? Like tag champs in some promotions now.
Oh yeah, yeah, with
And
Teddy
Maya World with
Long. I
Jada.
saw that picture.
That's pretty
After
funny.
after they won the tag belts, Teddy Long took a photo op with them.
That's pretty great, honestly.
That's
Yeah, I'd be
black
down.
excellence.
Let's get Jada and Maya. I
Yeah,
like
just
them.
bring over a good tag team, not a shit one, and I'll
Or
be happy.
I was at Eve. I liked Sapphire Reed and ZZ. They'd be cool
I
as
don't know.
well.
I don't.
Sapphire Reed is really good. If you've never seen Sapphire Reed, she's gonna be big eventually. Like
Okay.
really, really good wrestler. But
Who's an
yeah, I think they
AEW tag team that they realistically would bring over?
see. I don't know because like Tony really likes having his tag teams around to just do stuff on TV. Um,
Taikachi was
unless
cleared. Maybe they'll send Anna back.
maybe.
Even though she has like a newborn child, I doubt she wants to go to
Yeah,
Japan for
yeah.
a month
I
and
don't
a
know
half.
about Tay. I don't know about Tay. I guess you could do Anna and Harley, but I don't want Anna and Harley. No offense. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
I think it would be
definitely
a
not.
tryout team more than anything because New Japan
Hopefully,
was like, we're gonna trial you guys and see
yeah,
how you
I
do.
I would love if it was somebody from like a Ring of Honor,
Yeah,
or
or just the
anywhere
indies.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, we got into five-star action anyway in the semi-final. Maika beat Mayu Iwatani in just under 12 minutes with a modified Michinoku driver. This was a great match. I thought they just did really, really well. Mayu is Mayu. I don't know. Like she's just awesome.
Yeah.
She was kicking ass.
Another, like, I think this was an interesting match because it combined the best big time wrestler in the tournament against Maika, who is a main eventer and obviously very important in the tournament. And I
Hmm.
thought she had one of the weaker performances throughout the tournament, and it kind of worked. Right, I was interested in it a lot. That was a very good match. Maya's comeback spots near the end were fucking killer. Uh, and yeah, I thought it was a good match. Uh, I've had my problems with Mike in this tournament. I feel like she's become a bit too formulaic in the tournament,
Hmm.
where you kind of see her performance and it doesn't change much, regardless
Yeah,
of who she wrestles against. And I think that was an issue here, but I still thought it was a very good match because Mayu can't not have very good matches, it seems.
that's fair. Yeah, she's on her shit. Oh my goodness, burpee. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think Micah's fun thing is just how other people can play off her so easily. She's just kind of like, all right, you do whatever you do, and I can make it work. And I think
Mm.
that's a very good quality to have, especially when you're there with Mayu, who's just going to be like, yeah, I have lots of shit we can do, man. So yeah, I thought they paired off really well, and I doubt they run it back. I doubt we see them wrestle again, but if they wanted to, I
That was their
think they could have
first
a pretty
singles
good main
ever.
event. Yeah, like I don't know if they'll run it again, but if they wanted to, I think that could be a big match. If be a historic crossover if they really wanted to. If they're not going to do Tam Mayu there, and you could do Micah and Mayu or something along those lines. Um, but yeah, I thought that was great, and that kind of made our next semifinal very predictable. When
Yeah, I
Sai
don't know why this
Kamatani,
went second.
I don't know either, because Sai Kamatani went up against Hanan, and it was like, look, if Hanan was going to win, it would have been to have the Mayu match. You are very obviously going to do Micah Saya as the final, and these two delivered. My Sai Kamatani won in 10.5 minutes with Frankensteiner. I thought it was a pretty good match. I thought Hanan's like babyface fire and stuff like that really paired off well with Saya. It was just another case where even though Saya isn't what she was, her opponent was good enough to kind of make it work.
Yeah, I thought this one picked up the pace, which was needed. Um, Especially in hindsight with that final. I was very happy with this performance of Saya because it was just like a very snappy, very quick, very to the point. They didn't really waste time doing anything, and they just had a good match. Like a simple but good match. It was fun.
Hmm.
All things considered, Hanan really took chicken shit and made it more appetizing chicken shit in this tournament. Um, I don't know if I'd call it chicken salad, but she did what she could. I think she started off really rough with the Suzu match, and she had a couple of stinkers along the way. But I thought that, like, relatively speaking, she did as well as she could, given uh, you know issues with her opponents throughout the tournament. So I
Yeah.
was happy with this.
All right. I did kind of like the contrast of these two and just everything. I think that really drove home the current Saya was seeing Hanan come out with her like big sunshiny song and her like Beatles looking jacket to square off with Saya. I think it just made Saya feel a little bit more cool in the moment. I just thought it was interesting because I was like, wow, these are polar opposites. So you could not
It
get
was
more
it
different.
was a stronger contrast than alternatively with Saya, I think.
Yeah. Um, the show got into a weird lull after that though, because they did Anna J Momokogo,
Kind of.
and Anna J won in 7 minutes, and it was like, was this
That was
needed?
fine.
You know, and I get it. You want to give Anna a win. This was the most Anna match they've done. Like they fully trust her to carry the match now. It was just her
She's
doing her
better.
stuff,
I
and
think she did get better. Not
yeah.
like, a major huge amount, but she did get better.
Hmm.
Uh yeah, it was solid. It was all right.
Yeah, Momokogo was like the
Honestly,
best person to put in with her as well.
yes.
She
I
gets that
also
American
they
style.
they changed her fucking theme song, which somebody needs to be strangled for that in my opinion. She
Yeah,
literally had like the best theme song in the company, and like that was like the coolest thing about her was her entrance, and they changed it all, so that's lovely. And then she lost, so it didn't even matter. Um, I will say, despite my love for the next match, I don't know why they didn't just make this a tag. Xena and Anna versus
yeah.
Kamamo and Ida makes sense, and it would have sped up the match or the show. But I'm happy they didn't because Ida and Xena was very good, very very
Honestly, I
good.
feel like everything after was just so unnecessary, even the tags, but it is whatever. As you said though, Xena beat Saida in just under 9 minutes with a Thunderstruck, and this was very good. These are two of the better kind of consistency wrestlers in Stardom right now. I feel like they could
They're two
wrestle
workhorses, frankly.
pretty much. I mean,
Like two people who go at it.
Saida could wrestle me, and we'd have a good match, and Xena could wrestle
Yeah,
me, and I think it would be a good match. Now, Xena might break my neck, but it would be
Xena
for the
would.
love of the game.
Oh man,
It would be for the love of
you
the
would
game.
you would walk away
So,
looking like fucking ground beef.
yes, probably. Like, it would not be fun, but they could both carry me to a good match, and I think that says a lot. And when you put these two kind of elements together, you just have a fun out, and it was really, really well done, really fun.
Yeah, I love this match. It was very 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 good. Frankly, like I just man, these two, like that's just that was my break. Like from this, I would say, funnily enough, the two people who like really bet. Honestly, hot take: Blue A block with Xena, Kid, and actually it's just those two. Really came away, and Koguma, I would say, really came away like looking better from this tournament, which I don't think most people
Yeah.
did. Like and Ida, I think, from that block really came away looking like $1 million. So I think credit to both of these women because this was a super fun match. They didn't have much time after like their big chop exchange stuff, so they kind of just like like uh, I think they could have had a better match here, which I think is impressive because this was a very good match. But they could have had a better, more like fleshed out match. Um, I'm happy they didn't because it would have taken more time and this was a long show. But I loved it. I loved the pump handle thunderstruck out of nowhere. I thought that was sick. And yeah, high speed Xena coming up.
Oh yeah. She did afterwards say, "Hey, May Sarah, I want the high speed championship match," and that has been made official for Corkin.
Oh
And
really?
yes, and yeah,
Awesome.
to quote a good friend of ours, Mr. Daga, be nice, be good, Mr.
Shouts out
Daga.
Mr. Doc. One other small thing is the chop exchange that they had was
Yeah.
like made infinitely better by FWC grimacing at ringside on hardcam.
Oh
Like
yeah.
they were just like standing at hardcam. There was like oh like you could see their faces just like generally like they're like getting goosebumps and fucking feeling the pain of Ida and Xena chopping each other.
It's good shit.
Yep.
Our next match was the Neo Genesis team of Starlight Kid, Azumi, Suzu Suzuki, Mei Seira, and Miyu Amasaki beating the God's Eye team of Suri Sakikashima, Rani Agami, Lady C, and Risa Serra. Starlight Kid got the win for her team over Rani Yagami in 13 minutes. It was a bit long. It was good. It was very needless. It was kind of just them going, "Hey, Starlight Kid needs to win because we like her," and that
And
that was
also
it.
like yeah, I feel like the thing about this match that was like the most funny and interesting was Saki Kashima. Um
Of course.
from her and Izumi's interactions were really good. Them doing each other's roll ups was cool, and also her just deciding that Risa Sarah was in God's eye and her best friend now. And Risa Sarah's like, I
Right.
don't even know who the fuck you are, homegirl. Like the fuck. I thought that was really fun. Lady C's new gear and entrance gear I liked.
Lady C debuting
Uh,
new gear for a tag is so funny to me.
yeah.
It's good
She
gear
might
though.
have
I like
had
it.
it. She might have wanted to wear it for the 5-star itself and then got cut. So that's not great.
Mm,
But
maybe.
who knows? Yeah, I don't know. I liked it and I liked the match in general, but I agree it was kind of
I like
unnecessary.
Lady C's vibe overall. I think she's really
Yeah,
upgraded since leaving Queen's Quest. I like the haircut, and I think the new gear is very good. I think she's
remember when
if
she
they
cut her
really
hair
wanted
for
to,
Sai
they could like
Kamatani?
what?
Remember when she
Oh
cut her
shit!
hair
Yeah, she did.
to Sai Kamatani
That was crazy. Yeah,
to be like,
I've moved
I
on.
love you, but I gotta go now. And that
It's
was
crazy
and Sai Kamatani then was like, well, haha, bleh,
and
you know.
evil. Blah. She's
I do
Dracula
the
now.
no, I do the fucking the eye thing and the tongue, but I don't
Blah.
have a camera, so I just go
Blah.
bleh, like bleh, you know.
Dracula over here.
This pot like I do this regularly, and every time I do it, somebody fucking laughs their ass off because like legit, I don't have a camera, so nobody ever sees when I do the bleh. Like it's that's the only thing that
It's
I
good.
can. That's what that's how I articulate
Right.
the. I forget what it's called, where you pull your eye down and go
I
bleh.
don't know. I feel like I know. I know the name somewhere in the back of my eye, my mind, but I don't know.
Okay.
Um, yeah. Our next match was the Cosmic Angels team of Natsupoi, Sareee Ano, and Yuna Mizumori beating the Hate trio of Tekla, Konami, and Rocca. Unimon got the surprise win over Rocca in just under 9 minutes with a Supergirl splash pin. This is
He
paying
does
off for
several
little
Coca Cabana
Rocca.
moves,
She does. She does. Probably
which is
better than
very
him though,
funny.
in fairness. Um,
Sometimes
I would say most of the times, but yeah,
I
Yuna got
I
her win back for some reason over
I didn't.
Oraka.
I said that was gonna happen, but I didn't watch this. Instead, I watched Table for Three featuring the Ryback, Brian Danielson, and Dolph Ziggler.
The
Um,
Ryback. I love the
the
Ryback.
Ryback.
People cannot make
Um,
me hate the Ryback.
man, no, because I went on. I legitimately said, no, I'm not watching this. And I walked over to my bed and laid
That's
down for
fair.
a bit, and I watched TikTok, and I saw a TikTok about the Ryback and Brian Danielson bullying the Ryback, and I was like, ooh, I want to see that. So I went through a bunch of TikToks of that Table for Three featuring the Ryback,
Nice.
Brian Danielson, and Dolph Ziggler. It was a fun time. And I came back and I saw Tekla and Natsupoi staring each other down, and I literally wanted to cry.
Yeah, they did tease a Tekla Natsupoi match. Tekla whispered in Natsupoi's ear. They wrestled a little bit, and yeah, that happened. This was one of those very needless matches where I was like, you know what, we're getting a little bit long in the tooth here, fellas. So
I was watching this
I don't know.
live too.
Yeah, so was I. It was not fun. Um,
No, not at all.
we then had the Future of Stardom Championship match. Rina beat Hina with the Hydrangea submission in 14 and a half minutes to
The fuck,
break
man.
the record for the most defenses ever of the Future belt. Um, I think it's a credit to the two of them that they were able to go 14 and a half minutes and it wasn't bad because that is difficult. Like I thought it was a pretty good match, if anything.
It was by far not the worst of the final three matches.
No, maybe, possibly, I don't know. Um, but I mean, it was enjoyable. I think Hina definitely showed that she has the chops to keep it up. But Rena definitely was kind of the standout. I was like, wow, she can really do it.
Yeah, I felt like the thing about this match was that it came after a 30-minute intermission. So part of me was
That
like,
was
bro,
so random.
I
That
do
was
not need to see Rena grinding away on Hina for the first 5 minutes of this.
yeah,
I'm
that's fair.
really just want to watch wrestling. Um, but generally, I
They
love this
they did
match,
that twice where
especially
I
with
think they cut the knees off a match. I'll go into a bit more later.
yeah, kinda. I don't know. But yeah, I was like, you don't need to be doing this right now. But I thought once it got going, it was super fun. I think Hina has. I think one thing that she does have over Rena is that her forearms are beautiful.
Yeah,
She throws a great forearm,
she does.
better than a lot of the roster in general, not even just the younger ones. And I really liked Hina's performance here. it was a shame once she like threw her best shots and then it just was she was like, well, I guess I'm fucked. Uh, like that was it. That was a shame, but I thought that she did a great job. Um, I thought some of the near falls near the end, like I said, with Hina throwing her best shot, the jackhammer, the fisherman jackhammer, and it getting a 2 count. I legit like jumped because I thought that like I was legitimately shocked by the near fall. So I,
Mm.
I appreciate a lot of this work. Um, I I'm shocked Rena won
Yeah,
in
yeah,
that
it felt
not
like
even
this
not
was a
even that she
natural
retained the belt,
end
but
to the
not
reign.
at least like I would have expected a draw since they were going so long.
Yeah.
Uh, just like if you want Rena to get the record, fine. But I like they were at 14 and a half minutes. They could have just like kept it even. I think that would have made sense given their rivalry. I feel really bad for Hina
I think the
ultimately because I
post-match
was like,
kinda
damn.
reclaimed it a little bit. I think they did a good job after, um, of,
Yes.
like, making it work, but I do question now, like, how do you get this belt off Rina? Um,
Probably
unless
Aya
they pull the
Sakura
trigger on the Cosmic
or
Angels kids,
yeah.
or Hanako gets a comeback bump, but I don't know
Oh
if,
fuck yeah, Hanukkah's probably winning
like,
it.
Hanako gets the post-excursion bump, but it's either her or one of the Cosmic Angels ones, I'd have to imagine. Unless she
I
just
I,
vacates. They just vacate it. Didn't
I
Utami vacate?
yes.
Yeah,
Um,
I could see it.
I think if she vacates after beating Hina, I would actually be really annoyed. Give
That's
it to
fair.
let Hina hold it for a week and then drop it, bro. Like, come on, this is ridiculous.
I kinda like Rina beating Hina in the sense that in the post-match was very much like, "Look, I'm ahead of you. I'm better than you," and Hina wasn't happy with that, and then it's something where you could kind of
Rena even offered a
road.
handshake
Yeah, like, I think
because
you
which was like a very like kind of pitying her, and it
it
was
was.
fucked up.
I kinda like it. I think Hina can very much be like, once she commits to wrestling, it can be like, "Okay, I have to improve now. I will beat you next time." Um, that's if she commits to wrestling. I don't know if she's going to, but I think you can make it work. But yeah, Rena, they must really like Rena. That's all I'm thinking. Like, she's consistently been
Yeah,
the strongest booked member of Hate, even when they didn't like Hate. So
I mean she's
she was the only one who
probably
won this weekend. Like, all of
yeah.
Hate lost every
Oh
single
yeah,
match.
it was very funny. Literally
Momo got beat,
across two
Tora got
continents,
beat,
Rena's the
Rocket
only
got
one.
beat, Saya eventually got beat, and it was Arena that won for that
Hey,
faction. That was
she's
crazy.
like probably the best member to be fair.
All right, let's not do that.
I mean, we
Yeah,
already ranked them last week, but
that we did. That we did. Yeah, I think that they can reclaim this. I think Hina beating Rena is something you can really build to, which is one of the few long-term directions Taro Okada might do, because he does not do long-term, as we will talk
no.
about right now with the World of Stardom Championship. Tam Nakano beat Natsuko Tora in 27 minutes with a Twilight Dream. Tora fails on V1 6 weeks after Hate stood tall atop the company. The cosmic waifu has dethroned Natsuko Tora. Um,
This
yeah.
match, I like this match. I know you didn't. I
Okay,
really
well,
like this
I
match.
think it was good and bad. It was like
Okay.
they were laying shit in, and Tam was dropping Tora on her head like an accordion. It was insane. But then
Hmm.
they would do the most boring, like
You don't
bland
like the
shit
work, yeah.
for like 10 minutes with the crowd not reacting at all. And I was like, oh, I could go sleep right now if
I
they'd
think
let me.
I think I think it was a funny match. I think it was like a I don't know. Tam's interesting this year. I will say, Tam fans are very funny to me. Uh,
Okay. Right.
because I am at the point where it's like I like Tam. Tam's had a good year. I'm happy she's champion at this point. Like, fuck it. Whatever. I think she had obviously Mayu had better matches, but I think of anybody, I think Tam is like the woman of the summer this year. Because Maika certainly isn't. Um somebody has to be. So I think that like Tam is kind of like, she looks great this summer, just all things considered. But I did think that this match, along with like everything to do with it, was so dumb and funny and hilarious. Um, because yeah, like the entire gimmick was Natsuko being like, and again I tweeted this, Natsuko being like, nobody with a fucked up knee could ever win the world championship. And then you think about it, it's like Natsuko has a way worse knee than Tam does.
Yes.
And that's what this match was
Yeah.
Tam being like, wait a minute, your knee is worse than mine. And Tam's knee played no role in this match, like,
Well,
at
it did
all.
towards the end. It did at the end. They did the very good submission tease where the crowd actually came
Yeah.
alive.
Yeah,
I
but
thought
like,
that was
like,
cool.
most of the match didn't even, if you came into this match thinking that Natsuko was the one with the knee injury and Tam, like, the knee injury that costed her matches after match after match, that would have made sense. Like, there's
Mm.
no reason for you not to think that, if you haven't been following, because that was very funny. I liked the well worked, I thought the submissions were well worked. Um, I think the first 5 minutes were rough. I think that, like, Tam has that issue of,
You
like,
weren't
building a
rocking with the
match
brawling?
sometimes. Not really. I
Yeah,
think
I like
some of
that.
it was, like, interesting, but I feel like Tam does have a problem early on in the match, and I think if she can build off of it, it's good and it doesn't matter, but when she can't,
Mm.
it's pretty noticeable. I thought she built off of this well, though.
Okay.
But I liked the match quite a lot. I thought the interference was super eye roll worthy stuff because it was not well done.
Okay.
Like,
Controversially, I loved that ending. I really enjoyed that. I thought Cosmic Angels playing the equalizer was
yes,
brilliant.
but I thought that Hate just, like, looked like Looney Tune villains. Like, they just look completely,
Yeah, yeah,
incompetent. And, like, I'm cool. I love it when the babyface team, like, dethrone, can be the equalizer. I love that. That's what COVID
that's
was for
wrestling. That's pro
LIJ.
wrestling.
Yeah, that
Like,
is wrestling. Like, that is that's why House of Torture works, is because, like, when Tanahashi makes the save, and saves somebody, it's sick. Like, that's super fun. Um I just felt like Hate looked so dumb. Like, I was like, "Damn, y'all didn't even try." I know that, like, the point was for you to get vanquished, but, like, y'all did not look like you put up a fight. And then
mm.
Tam just won, and I was like, "Damn,
I
they
thought as
really did
well,
put up a fight."
Tam kicking out of the death moves towards the end as well. I was like, "Oh, this is prime." There, we're
Yeah.
baby facing this shit.
No,
And
like I said, I like the match quite a
yeah,
lot, but, like, Hate looked so incompetent in every
I
way,
think that's my
with the
my big
interference on,
takeaway.
and it was very funny.
That was one of my big takeaways was hate. And we can get onto that a bit later. But I did. Maybe it's because I accepted it. Like, I called weeks back that Tam was gonna beat Tora. Like, I
Yeah.
just knew. The second she dropped that line about "You will never break my heart even if you break my leg," she was winning from that day on in my mind. Um, and I was like, "They're doing all this to babyface Tam as hard as possible." So maybe
Yeah.
it's because I accepted it. And I went in looking at how do you
I
do this
was
match to make Tam look like the biggest babyface
100%.
possible? And maybe that's why I enjoyed some of that stuff more, and I
I
didn't
think
mind it.
I think the comparison for me is the Julia match from last year,
Mm,
the title match. That match, I didn't think Tam would win or should win.
yeah.
So when she did, I was just laughing because it was so dumb, and so just like, I thought the match was just like it was the campiest Julia Tam match I'd ever seen. Like, it was just like the most intrinsically Julia versus Tam, to the point where they weren't even really doing anything. They were just being Julia and Tam. And I was like, this is like a fucking fever dream. And then she won, and I just died laughing.
Yeah.
This one, I do think that the point of, like, oh, and same with Mina versus Tam, where I was like, oh, that has to go to a draw, and then Tam just won, and I was like, that's not how that was supposed to go. What the fuck? This one, I do think once you accept that Tam is going to be Tam, and that she's going to win regardless of what makes sense or what is good in the world, or anything. Once you accept it, I think you can appreciate her matches more. Um, Especially after she lost so much. Like, I was so happy. Like, she was losing. I was like, hey, this is enough. And then she won. It's like, okay, that's fine. So yeah, on the same wavelength. It's like, I figured Tam would win. I was hoping Tam would win. In part because I thought it would be funny, but also in part because I've liked Tam's work this year. So, like, I'm not put out by this move. It just
Yeah.
was a very hilarious way to go about this stuff. I mean, May Sarah choked her out like a week ago. You know what
Yes.
I mean?
They have set up a long line of challengers if they want to with Tam, which is definitely interesting. And she can avenge each one of those. And with the rate they're booking things, you might need to. Um, I do think I think if you accept the Tam story for what it was, it kind of is a lot clearer. I think people were maybe a bit overreacting with the whole, oh, the GP means nothing now. She went
Oh no, I
over,
think
like that's stupid. And it's like, well, that's the story. Wrestling is stupid. I'm
no,
sorry.
but I think it was stupid for other reasons that we will get to next.
Okay.
I think that in a vacuum, the Tam story against Natsuko was like it was bad, like it was dumb. I won't even call it bad. It was dumb, but
Yeah.
it was like dumb pro wrestling. So it's like whatever.
Yes.
It makes sense. But with the Micah aspect of it all and the final aspect of it all, that was when I was like, okay, no, this is like
Yeah.
what?
Can
What? Huh?
can I just
You
say
could have
though?
done so many other like you could have gone about this way simpler in like 7 different ways and got the same result.
The one visual of Cosmic Angels with their belts all together was definitely worth it. I will say
You know,
that was very cunt. Like
I
service
I
queen.
how did I say it in our group chat or a different one that I was like, I wonder who gets the cover, Tam or Micah?
Oh yeah.
And it ended up being Kaito, and Micah getting an alternate cover. First time in years that the 5-star winner did not get the main cover of a Shoe Pro the week they won. Um,
Just took
don't
Noah
know if
doing
you
the
want.
ballsiest thing possible.
Yeah, just because Noah being Noah and Kaito better, frankly. But yeah, I thought that was like kind of an interesting thing is that it's like, and I think that plays in the match very briefly. I want to mention that Tam versus Natsuko is the main event, which kind of proved a problem because Micah versus Talsaya felt kind of like a dark match because it's like, oh, this is just like an extra thing that we're watching for some reason. Okay. Like that was the feeling going into it for me, which is not a great way for the tournament to end. Is feeling like the final is just like an additional thing that's happening. But
Um, yeah, I did kind of say earlier that they kneecapped two matches, and I think the second one was Maika and Saya. I think going after the big emotional win for Tam really like dampened the crowd. They were clearly zapped of energy. And then I think you also, because Tam won, I think a lot of people were expecting a Saya win probably as well. So they were less into the Maika stuff until she got the surprise win. Um, so I do think that putting, not only was it two 27-minute matches back to back, which is a really poor choice,
yeah.
um, but it was also like the big emotional babyface win and then a tournament final. And I think they really should
Which
have
also
switched it.
featured the big babyface win, but like a less
Yes,
because Micah isn't
to a
as big of a
lesser
babyface
degree.
as Tam is.
Well, yeah, one has been like bullied for a month and came in with an injury. The other is undefeated in the tournament.
Undefeated
So
and
yeah,
yeah.
like one was a lot more easy to root for. So I think they probably should have switched it. I know why you go with the GP final last. It's like a principle thing, but I think maybe at times you just have to make a decision of okay, what's best for the wrestlers, and what's best
Well,
for the
see,
wrestlers would have been the world title going on last.
this got worse. I think the real problem is they didn't have to do any of this. They didn't have to decide between
Well,
the two
okay,
matches because
yeah. So I
we're two
do see
weeks
where
of
you're coming from. So Maika winning the GP sets us back
yeah.
on course for a match that we expected months ago, which was Maika versus Tam. They have instead switched the roles to where Tam is champion and Maika is challenger
And
instead
put it
of
in a nothing on a nothing show.
okay, hold on.
Nothing breaks.
Um,
Go on.
and I think this is the second time we've seen them do this, like a 6-week detour to get to the match they were going to do anyway. Because they did this with Soriano and Natsupoi, and they've done it with Tam and Maika. So is this just the standard going forward where they're going to have a very obvious end goal and they're just going to take a left turn for no reason? and get back on
See,
course eventually? And will people
yeah,
eventually see through that and stop caring?
and it's so weird because it's not like they don't do it normally. They don't do it in a normal way because
No.
both of these instances um resulted in a big match on a like C pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like, oh, on the road to WrestleMania, they took a little detour and then they got back on track for WrestleMania or for Dream Kingdom or for, Wrestle Kingdom or for any big show. It's that they do this detour, rework it a little bit, and then have the big blow off in Sapporo in front of 500 people.
Mm.
And they have this, the 5 star, and Tam goes, oh, and then they have the big blow off in Osaka. Like Nagoya is a month away. That's Tam's hometown. That's at least like makes a little bit more sense. It's in the south. It's closer to Maika's hometown. It doesn't make much sense, but like that's at least like
Well, I feel
something.
like I don't mind the GP winner challenging immediately because that's what they used to do. That was one of our least favorite things when they brought it in. I remember the Utami Suri 3 months where we were banging our head off a wall.
Yeah, and I think a big part of it is, and this is a shout for Velke because this is his type of thing, is that like this quarter of Bushiroad always does super poorly
Mm,
because it doesn't matter.
yeah,
Like late, like the last few months of the year does not usually matter at all for Bushiroad, and that means that they lose money, frankly. So
yeah,
Zach challenging next month, and Micah challenging this month is likely partially because of that,
yeah,
because they
for
want
sure.
to like boom a little bit more business and like make it so that this stuff matters still. And so I get that, but I do feel like if you were going to do it like that, I don't understand why Tam didn't just win the tournament. I know that was the story that they told. They wanted to tell a story in that way, but like I feel like the obvious answer would have just been the better answer here, because then you could do Tam and Micah on a big show in Fukuoka that's happening a few. I mean, we obviously know that's going to be a Fukuoka Triple Crazy match instead of a title match for either Hazuki or Koguma or Micah. But you
Yeah.
could have ran it there. You could have ran Nagoya. You could have ran
Well,
it at like one of these like shows that like isn't 2 weeks after the
yeah,
final.
but is that just the new guy? I think we're all realizing. I think I realized that Taro Okada does not book 6 months out. He books
But it's not
for the
6
next
months out.
big
It's
show.
it's 2 months out. That's where we're at. Like, I feel
That's
like
just how
he
he does
doesn't know
it. Mm,
what he's doing in
I don't
6
know.
weeks, not 6 months. I think, like, that's my problem. On top of that, beyond that problem, I thought this match sucked. I just checked Cage Match. Apparently, I'm very, very low on it in comparison to everybody else. I thought this
Yeah,
match was
I don't
fucking
know where
boring as
you came
shit.
from with that. I thought it was good enough. I thought Maika especially was like throwing her lariats and stuff, and Saya was good at what she did. I do think that
I thought
they
I thought it
lacked
was
the
super
kind
boring.
of. I do think that Maika especially lacked the kind of "you betrayed me and cost me the world title" kind of vibes. I didn't really get that from their wrestling,
Like
which was a
like I
big.
said, I feel like Micah hasn't diverted from her stoic
Yeah,
winner of the match. That's all she
kind of.
does is I am
Yeah.
stoic, I throw a couple lariats and I win. Those are the three things that she's done this entire tournament. That none of it has been like, has aided to her match. Like she hasn't
Mm.
like brought a certain, like energy to any of her matches more than any other one. And I thought this match was the biggest, failure there because it was a 27-minute match. Beyond that, I think Saya Kamatani as a heel in a 27-minute match is not what I want to see ever again. Um, I
Yeah.
think that like that kid match was 15 minutes and 30 seconds, something like that, and I was like, you know what? That was the perfect amount of time for a Saya big match, a heel Saya big match. It was a really good match. I didn't love it as much as everybody else, but it was a really good match and it worked. It was a good tall Saya heel big match. This was not, in my opinion. I think that Saya
See.
had too much time to just fuck around, and it was not creative or intense or heated. It just felt like she was pretending to be a heel again, which was the biggest problem when she first turned heel, was that she was just like, oh, I think this is what I'm supposed to do as a heel. I'll just fucking boot her a couple times, and I'll look at my arm when I do a dive and like have a panic attack for a second, now jump like I'm in NXT. Julia's there, not you, homegirl. It's
She teased the
different people.
Phoenix, didn't she? That was crazy.
Firebird, but yes.
Oh yeah, Firebird. She did still get big
That
reactions,
was the
which
cool.
is like,
That was the coolest part. That was the coolest part, was her
of course,
teasing the
yeah.
Firebird splash. I was like, oh, like I kind of like sat up in my chair. I was like, okay, maybe something's gonna happen. Then they didn't do that, and then it just ended. And I was like, okay. That was an interesting spot that I actually did appreciate from a story standpoint. But everything else I just thought
Yeah,
was not good. This was like my
that's fair.
least favorite tournament final that I've seen personally live, or in real time.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess Utami Himeka was better. That was the
At
final, right?
least yeah,
Um,
at least it
yeah.
felt like Utami was like she triumphed, and I felt like she was like, oh, they're moving forward with something, because that was post COVID. It was very hard for
Yeah.
them to move forward with anything ever, because
Mhm.
it was just
That's true.
a hard time. And it felt like Utami like got a burst of momentum from that. I don't think Micah got that here.
Well, I don't know. I
Um,
think Maika comes away from this tournament looking pretty much solidified as one of their top stars post
yeah,
Exodus.
but I think that she already, like, she had a good title run.
Yeah, but
Like
like
she
you especially were one of the people who refused to admit that, and a lot of people refused to admit that. And I kept saying, you will all see what they've done here once she drops the belt. And now that she won
and
the
I did.
tournament, it's like, oh well, the world title reign was enough. But clearly
I
not.
feel
If people were
no, I feel
still
like
doubting her.
I am lower on Micah post this tournament than I was before this tournament. 100%.
I don't know if you can judge any wrestler off of a
I
tournament like that.
You
One
definitely
who's
can. I
just
mean,
had a strong world
do you
title
know
run.
how much we've judged Utami Hayashishita over her fucking extension tournaments?
Yeah, but that's different. That's her just
No,
going,
it's not. It's the
I'm
exact same.
removing
It's the exact
all
same.
dog. I am taking out
That's
all
what
of my
Micah
dog.
did. That's what Micah did.
I don't know. She still had good matches. I thought she had great matches in this
I did
tournament.
not think a single match of hers was great.
You didn't think the Mayu match was great, or the Azumi
I thought
match.
that was I thought the I thought those two matches were her best, but I didn't think they were like great. I thought the
Wow,
Zumi match was the best she had.
it's
I
crazy.
really loved that match. But
A lot of people
otherwise,
enjoyed
I
the
thought
Hazuki one though too. So
the Hazuki match was good because Hazuki cared, and she was in the main event of a match.
okay, I see.
That's like Maika did well, but she didn't
Right,
have any performance that was like particularly inspired, or like, yes, this is the former world champion trying to get her spot back. It just felt like she was wrestling, um
I
and
see.
winning, and that
Well,
was
I
that.
kind of I will blame her for that. I don't think she showed enough fire against Sai Kamatani for my liking for her babyface performance. But I do like the idea of her as unbeaten GP winner, um, clear runaway big star going up against Tam, who lost every match. I think
That's
it's
the other thing.
really
It's gonna be
interesting.
really funny. Like there's
Well,
either
Tam
outcome
is
of that
beating
match
her.
is
Like
very
Tam is
funny.
beating her. Tam
That's
is
what
not
I
dropping
mean.
unless it's to Saya. Tam is finally doing her
Uh,
dream of dropping to Saya and putting Saya over. Like
I
that's
I
the
don't think
only
she's
way
putting
this is
Sai
ending.
over yet. I think that match. I think Tam wins that match.
Maybe,
And then moves on to
possibly,
something else. Unless they hold off on it for a while. I don't think Tam loses the title this year. Um,
maybe. I don't know
but
anymore.
we'll see. That is objectively very funny. That
Yes.
Tam is went had the worst tournament like any top wrestler's ever had ever, and people have gotten injured like 2 matches in. Like, she had a worse tournament than Sai Kamatani did last year. At least Sai Kamatani looked like she was gonna win that Tam match, and then she got hurt. Like that is how bad Tam was in this tournament from a kayfabe point of view, and she's gonna beat the undefeated. That's really funny.
Yeah, but that's
Um,
pro wrestling. That's just
yeah,
pro wrestling in a
yeah.
nutshell. It's really stupid. So
It's
yeah, I
crazy
don't
we're
know.
previewing that next week.
I know it's crazy. Um, yeah, what a weird tournament. What a weird stardom we have.
Yeah,
Because like
I
the thing with Taro Okada and whoever books with him, it's like they get it right, and then they just go, okay, here's a tornado, and you're just like, oh, okay, sure. I'm really intrigued because I cannot help but go, is he a madman or is he a genius? And I don't know if we're ever going to figure that out. But this entire tournament arc was really interesting to me. I loved what they did with Tam. I see what they did with Maika. I think Kamatani comes out of the tournament looking really good. I think Kid comes out of the tournament looking really good. I think Xena, Ida, Mayu, Tomoka, like a lot of people come out of this tournament looking really good. And it's like, you know what? Maybe he's onto something, but maybe he's
I
not.
think
I don't
less
know.
people look come out of this tournament looking good, but I get like I don't disagree with your point. Um, I think that like I said earlier, I think Xena and Ida, especially Starlight Kid, especially had really good tournaments. Um, I don't as an Azumi fan, I saw a lot of people saying that like Azumi came out of this looking like a top star. I was like, I don't think this made her look like any more of a top star than like every other great match that she's ever had, which there's like 70. So I don't.
I don't know. I think there was a bit more consistency there. I think her and the high speed crew got a lot better treatment than they usually do. They were like actual competitors and not just spoilers.
Yeah, but I think in part that was just bound to happen because most of them are older and more like
Well, you
refined.
can say
Like
that, but I don't. I don't think Rossi's gonna do that in the Dreamstar. So I don't know.
well,
Would
with
he have done
who?
that?
Like if
Misa,
Azumi was in the
Misa
Dreamstar,
Matsui.
yes. Misa Matsui is a different case. Let's not talk about her. Oh,
I don't. I don't think so. Anyway,
oh
look,
no.
that was an interesting show. I think we can all agree. Very interesting day for Stardom. Come away looking at Osaka instead of looking towards December. I am starting to think they're just going to do Tam Saya in December, somehow,
I think
some
they might
way.
do. I think they might do Tenmayu in December.
I have a strong feeling
I
that they
think
saw a crossover for January. They're going to do
I
that on
think
one of the new Tam shows.
Tam I think Tam Saya might be Nagoya,
Tam Saya and
but
Nagoya. No, no.
Tam has a trios title, so she might just not defend the belt at certain
Well, see,
points.
the thing with Tam is she lost to everybody, so she can literally be challenged by anyone. Like who was in that block? Tomoka? You gonna do Tomoka? You gonna do Momo?
Ida,
Momo?
Momo, Momo losing again is gonna be so funny.
Yeah.
Like the
I don't know.
third
I'm
time in
interested. I'm interested.
16
That's the thing
months.
with this Taro guy. He does keep me intrigued as to what's coming next.
See,
Even if it's
I
because
think
I'm wondering what kind of batshit stuff he's gonna do. I am intrigued.
I've that is something I found interesting about this 5 star is that it's like there was so much that like this past like
Yes.
6 days since it's been over, I felt like alleviated. Not because I disliked watching the shows. I enjoyed a lot of the stuff from the 5 star, but just
Mm.
in terms of like, oh, I can breathe and
Yeah,
like
no, that's
wait
fair.
to watch a wrestling match, like kind of like take a day off of watching wrestling just because it's like you couldn't or else you would fall behind. And I
Mm.
was watching the G1 as well, so like
There's a
when
lot of
like that
people
was
who gave
ending.
up. I feel like anybody I talked to is like, yeah, I didn't. I'm still catching up on the 5 star, or I just didn't
I
watch.
I enjoyed it, but I don't necessarily blame them. It was a lot. It was
It
very
was.
intensive. But like part of me is like, "Oh, now I can like breathe a little bit. This is nice." But another part of me is like, I don't want to watch house shows, man. Like I don't want to go
Yeah,
back to that
yeah.
cuz
In
like
fairness, though, they're never
the hate
fun.
tags on these shows have been really not fun.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's all that the
okay.
houses are going
Can
to
we
be.
do? Can we do this? Because one big problem I do have is hate came away from this show not looking good, and it's like 6 weeks ago. You did really well with hate. They were a threat.
Mhm.
Tora was champion. They had a lot of credibility. And then on one show, three of them
I think it
lost.
was
And
the tournament in general. I don't think
it
they
was,
looked
I
good in
think
the
they,
tournament at
because
all.
remember before the tournament, everybody was like, oh, it's going to be like hate in the quarterfinals and like Konami's going to go through and Momo's going to go through and they're going to mess with all the baby
And then
faces.
they pretty much all looked bad or
Yeah.
lost a bunch, and
Like
then it
it's
was just
crazy.
yeah.
And then on the final night, Tora loses, Saya loses, Rocca loses. And it's like, wow, they completely
Tech was challenging.
threw them aside. And she's gonna lose that. Like, she's gonna lose that. She's fought
Luckily,
her as well. Um,
I said this the other day. I think that might be the first top title match in Stardom that I don't want to watch even a little
yeah,
bit
that's fair.
since like Avery versus Arisa Hoshiki, and I eventually watched that and it was fine. Like
Yeah.
that's where we're at.
I remember Arisa Hoshiki versus White Women. Those were painful.
Yeah,
Painful matches.
it
She
was.
couldn't do it. Arisa Oshiki was very talented, but you put her in there with a white woman and she was dead. She was like drowning. It was crazy. Um,
Heard.
but yeah, I think Hate is really weird because it's like he made them look really good. Like they looked very good. New theme, new gear, new logos. Like it all looked great. And then in the span of 6 weeks, they're geeks again. And I do question that. Like I don't know if you can ever get that back because it is difficult to make a group like this look that threatening again. So I do
We'll
question
try.
the use of Hate coming out of this. And if they were just a 6 week roadblock, I think that's eh.
Hilarious.
But I don't know. That's pro
I don't know.
wrestling, isn't it?
I didn't like
I don't
Hate
know.
from the jump. I still don't like Hate. I think that they're pretty not good at most of the things that they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Um, I agree that it's like they made it feel like it was this big thing, and like in a way, it would have been it would have sucked if I was right and the rest of the year was just like this like how do we defeat Hate? But it's way funnier and probably worse in all like from a not objective because I'm not objective about anything, I'm biased obviously, but from a more objective standpoint it is way funnier that they like haven't had like they've had like 4 tag matches and they're already fucking like idiots.
Doomed.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's very funny. Like this tournament just made all of them look bad pretty much, except for the one that looked bad to start. Tulsaya looks a bit better, not like
Yeah.
that much better. I thought that she ended her tournament pretty much showing all of my like to me doing all of the things I didn't like in the beginning. She had all of that in the Micah match, so I was like, oh, so it's like it's a switch. It's not going to be a growth, a permanent growth type of thing. She's going to have the stinkers and she's going to have the good ones. Um, like that's hilarious. Like that is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I have my doubts.
They
But
didn't
you know
even
what?
cheat.
We
The only
gotta
DQ in the tournament was Risa Sarah. Like that is funny.
yeah. We have a show to preview, and it is a Korakuen Hall show. It is on the 8th. Wow, Sunday the 8th.
Yeah.
And I quite like this card, honestly. I think it's one of the better
Both the shows
Korakuens
that
I've
we
run
have
in
to
a
preview
while.
are on the 8th. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. So this card is supposed to open with Starlight Kid versus Rian, which I think is going to over deliver because I think Rian has been doing really good work, and also
They
that
ran that at some point.
was Rian's debut match, I think. So we're going to
Yes.
see
Yes, it
directly how
was.
much she's improved, which I think is nice. I think that's a cool little thing to do. Um, After that, then we have Aya Sakura and Sayaka Kurara versus Rina and Rocco. I think that's a nice little kind
Yeah,
of undercard tag.
I think that's the match that'll set up Sakura.
Yes, I hope so. Yeah, I think one of them beating Rocco could do it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like that. Nice heel babyface thing on the undercard.
As do I. I
Um,
think that'd be fun.
Mina's big return match as champion of England, as Ring of Honor superstar, Mina Shirakawa versus
Those
Saida
don't
versus Rana
exist anymore,
Yagami.
man.
Yeah, that's true. Um,
Mark
I mean,
Briscoe
this
is
is a
the only
fun.
Ring of Honor superstar.
That's true. I think this is a fun looking trios match or a triple threat match, but that's it. That's all you got for Mina and her big comeback.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's a bit weird. Why wouldn't you put her with Enex's V? Because like that
Can she
that
just
group
leave?
is
Can they just cut the ties? Because I'm really
the
tired now.
the group is dead. Like,
Basically, yeah.
but why wouldn't you put her with them
I know. Like
at
that's
least? Like
her
like
and Hanako
that's like
are just back.
that
Do
is
her and
the
Hanako.
only thing that is keeping Mina relevant to anything at all in this company.
Yeah.
Period. Is that she is half of the name of E Nexus V.
Yeah.
She is the V in E Nexus V.
Oh,
That's it.
didn't she moved to America too? Did you see the One Nation Radio
Yep.
guy reporting that? That's crazy. Like she's already gone.
Yes.
Her send off match is definitely happening in January because they have like 5 shows that they need to
At
sell
the
tickets to,
latest. Yeah.
and maybe they do her and Mariah at the Dome show for AEW, and then she
I
gets
could
the
see
All
that.
Elite graphic, and then we're free of the disappointment of what could have been Mina Shirakawa.
Yeah.
She is going to win this match though, because they do have to protect her now that she's in AEW. Because Tony Khan
Ida should win.
is very fucking weird about wins and losses.
Yeah.
So
And Taro Okada is not weird enough about him, I don't think.
he's insane. He does not care. Taro Okada just said, "I don't give a shit. I'm booking the match," and honestly, that's kind of fun. But you know, it is what it is. Our next match: Mai Utani, Koguma, and Momokogo versus Azumi Suzuki and Miyu Amasaki. That'll be a good match. Kogo is probably losing, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah. I was looking at the next match. I was like, wait,
It's a
those
good
aren't the
pairing
names.
though. I quite like the Stars and Neo
Oh
Genesis together.
yeah. Definitely. I think that would be
Oh,
probably the
it's a
best
preview, obviously.
tag.
Mayu Azumi or IWGP match. Duh, of course.
Yes. Oh, so maybe Azumi beats. Yeah, I think she
Yeah,
gets the win there.
I totally forgot that Azumi and Mayu
Maybe
would be.
not. Maybe not over Mayu, but she'll probably get the win and
Oh yeah, for sure. She might
reaffirm
be
her
Koguma or
stance.
something. Just cause.
Yeah, maybe.
Our next match is Syuri Sakikashima, Hina, and Lady C versus Natsuko Tora, Momo Watanabe, Konami, and Sayaka Mitani of H.A.T.E. That's probably a H.A.T.E win. I mean, Hina is right there.
Yeah, it's hard to
Yeah,
win, or it's hard to lose that
very.
for hate.
We have a Wonder of Stardom #1 contender three-way match. It is Hazuki versus Hanan versus Tekla. As much as I want Hazuki to win, they did kind of allude to Tekla versus
I think Tekla's
Natsupoi.
going over Hanan.
Yeah, I think Tekla wins.
Uh,
Probably with cheating. It's
Funnily
a
enough,
three-way, so they can probably interfere.
Hazuki has like a running gag of her being in like multi-persons and just not being involved, and just like being on the outside, being like, wait, what the fuck happened? I lost. How did that happen?
Wasn't
She's
that how
done
they got
that
the
like
high speed belt
repeatedly.
off her? Oh, the politics. Yeah, I remember the politics of like, yeah, a
Yeah,
three-way. Riho and Hazuki cannot wrestle, so we're doing a three-way.
and
Woo.
Fukigen Death won. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, who
And
did she
then
beat? Did she beat Hazuki? Wait.
I thought
No, it
Riho
was
beat.
Azumi. It was Azumi. It was Azumi. That's what it was.
Oh,
It was
yeah, yeah.
Azumi, Fukigen Death, and Hazuki.
Yes. And that
And
got the belt onto Riho, who never
or not
defended it.
Fukigen. It was Death Yamasan at that point. Yeah.
That's Yama-san. And then to Riho.
I miss Kaori. I hope she's doing well with her injury.
Yeah,
Um,
poor girl.
but yeah, so it'd be very because Hazuki does have that running gag of just
She does. Okay.
being on the outside, being like, "What happened?" So Tekla
Big
over
Tex
Hanan.
over
I'm going
Hanam.
to scream. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Very briefly.
Oh dear.
Um, I know. But very briefly, it was very weird at the 5-star final because it felt like there was like no pomp nor circumstance for the end of the 5-star, which I thought was a bit weird. Like I feel like
Yeah.
that was one thing with the Bushi Road introduction that's like, oh, we're gonna have like fireworks for the end. We're gonna have like these cool entrances or backstage promos beforehand. We'll do a little bit something interesting, something extra. We'll do the ceremony afterwards. They didn't do any of that.
Yeah.
In fact, they're doing half of it here. They're giving out the awards and shit.
The awards.
Uh,
Yeah, they announced those today and they're awful.
yeah, Tekla had one competent match and she got the match of the tournament award. Hilarious.
For her block.
Um,
Fairness.
for her block. Yeah. But yeah, just weird company right now. But yeah,
Yeah.
Tekla's winning, and I'm going to. I'm not gonna say anything too.
Okay.
Like I could have gone
Where does she
too far with
challenge?
that.
Is that Osaka or are they holding it off?
It should be
'Cause-
Osaka.
yeah, I guess. Next match is Tam Nakano, Natsupoi, and Yuna Mizumori versus Maika, Wakasukiyama, and Hanako of E-Nexus V. I would imagine EXV wins there.
Waka's there though.
Waka is there, but I think Hanako might be powered up post uh, excursion or whatever. She can
Yeah,
beat
maybe
Yunamon.
maybe they challenge for the RS belts and lose.
Possibly. Yeah,
Like they
that
win
could work.
here over Unimon, and then like these three are
They
like,
do have
hey,
to
we
set
want.
up New Blood stuff. There is a New Blood next week, so they kind of have to set up
Holy
matches for that.
fuck! What are we
Yeah, I know.
doing? Why are
I
there
don't
two
know.
new bloods this?
I,
Wait, no. New
it's
blood
two this
isn't
month,
for.
isn't it?
Holy fuck! What is going on? There are,
Right?
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So yeah,
there's
they
new
got to
blood
set up the
14
New
and
Blood
15
stuff.
this month.
Yeah, and they did tease an Ice Ribbon challenge, but then that like died. So I don't know if Ice Ribbon is still involved in the tag belt scene, or if Ice Ribbon is no longer working with them, or what the story is.
Tsukasa showed
But
up in Marigold one time to beat the fuck out
yeah,
of Julia, and they're like,
listen, we gotta get Grizzly in here. We gotta get Grizzly. Fujitaki. Like, have you seen the new gear? She looked great. She looks like a beast.
she did.
Um, Yeah, the main event of the show anyway is a high-speed championship match. Mei Sarah is defending against Xena. Mei Sarah is going to retain, but that should be pretty fun.
Yeah,
I like Xena.
it could go 15 depending on how much they want Xena to look good. But
Maybe.
I would probably just have Miss Sarah roll her
It
up.
would go 30, wouldn't it? It's probably main eventing.
No, but they it's high speed rules.
They have had 30-minute high-speed main events.
Miss Sarah implemented high speed rules and it's 15 minutes, 10-second countouts.
I, for
That's
one, think that they don't remember that.
that is a new regime thing.
Oh, really? Okay, that's strange.
Yeah, they started that like the day Rossi got fired.
That's
So maybe
funny.
it
Okay.
wasn't a new regime thing. It was like a
Yeah,
late Rossi thing.
I
But
don't know.
that is what they've been doing since Miss Sarah's title run.
Well, that's good. That's, pretty competent of them. But yeah, that'll be fun. It's gonna be interesting to see how Xena approaches that division. But that's the only Stardom show this weekend, so we can move swiftly on to Marigold. The fields of
Woo!
gold were glistening. Marigold wrestlers outside of Marigold, they took part in the Noah N1 victory main event, or not main event, final. The Great Sakuya, Miyuki Takase, Sandra Moon, and Takumi Iroha beat Bozilla, Kazuna Tanaka, Koki, and Miku Iono in 14 minutes. I thought this was a pretty fun match.
I just stuffed a sneeze because I couldn't get to the mute button in time.
Thought
It
you
was
were
crazy.
laughing.
No,
Because I heard it.
I was trying to open Discord to mute, but I didn't get to it in
That's
time.
crazy. This Joshi tag is a 5 on Cage Match, which just proves to me that Puro fans have melted brains
No,
because
I think people were just like, this card sucks. Everything sucks. It was a boring time because they just didn't
I don't know.
have a fun
I
time
think Puro
watching the card,
fans
and it's like
hate fun and deserve everything they get, quite frankly.
I thought it was
They
solid. I
deserve
thought it was a solid
Hayata
match.
20-minute matches. You guys deserve it. Fuck you. um, but yeah, no, I thought this was really fun. Takumi and Iono were kicking each other. Mozilla interacting with everybody was really fun. Kazuna got to wrestle on Noah, which I know is a big dream for her. Just everybody like did their part. It was fun. Like I don't know how this got review bombed. It's crazy.
Did I not put this in my? Oh no, I did. Yeah. Um. Yeah, I thought it was a fun match. I thought that so Sandra Moon doesn't look as good in Japan as she does in America. Am I wrong for saying that?
Um, yeah, I agree. I guess I don't. I feel like her big power bomb stands out in America, but here it's just like everybody works that
Yeah.
like that. So
I think that might be the problem is that it's like in America she's like I mean the American women are a lot better than they used to be on the indies. But I think that she looks like really badass in America and like has like a really cool style to
yeah,
her. And I think in Japan it just doesn't really like stand out compared to Riko Kawahata and Takumi and Miku and you know like I
yeah,
think that kind of
I
is a
gotcha.
problem there. But yeah, I enjoyed the match. I was happy with it for the most part. I thought Takumi looked pretty badass, which you know is always a fun thing. Monday
Yeah, I've been
Magic is
telling
coming
people
back
she's locked
soon.
in. Takumi is
Monday
locked in
Magic
this
is coming
year.
back soon, so I imagine that you know this will
There's
continue
a
to
lot
like
more.
this sort of thing will develop more when Monday
Yeah.
Magic comes in.
I was saying this online, but NXT needs to get involved in Monday Magic. Get Lash Legend the fuck over here right now. Get
No,
me
I was
Lash
thinking
Legend
about it.
versus like Tekase. I need it.
I don't have many NXT takes, but I feel like NXT's women could do like a really cool World Cup type of thing because there are
Oh yeah.
like they are all over the fucking place. Like the
Yes.
dudes are mostly, you know, like there aren't that many, but like they have like a woman from every country it feels like. It's kind of sick.
Yeah,
They
no,
should get on that. Do like
yeah,
a big
they
ass
should
tournament.
let the women do Monday Magic because
That'd be sick.
I would get joy from that. But yeah, that was the Marigold wrestlers outside of Marigold
In
as far
fact,
as I'm aware.
You know what? No, I agree. They should get NXT on Monday Magic. Julia versus the Great Sakuya.
Very
Thoughts?
innovative. Yes, very.
Thoughts?
Not this version of Julia though. She has to unlearn everything she's learned in her week there. Because oh
She looks
boy,
very white.
I've never seen anybody forget how to
Okay, she
like
didn't
project.
wrestle yet, to be fair.
No, but
She just
she
she
completely forgot
threw
how to project.
the worst move against a yeah, oh, 100%. She looks
Like
weird. Like
she
not in
does.
like a mean way. She just reminds me like she just feels like
They send her out there with
She
this
looked.
Undertaker fog lighting and are like, "Walk as slowly as you can."
She feels like a polar bear in Arlington, Texas. You know what I
Yes,
mean? Like I feel
yes.
like that's where we're at with Julia. I was like, why are you? What are? Huh?
Yeah,
Good luck,
it's
but
weird.
like, huh?
I don't
This is
know.
strange.
I don't really get it. I don't know why you would send her out there and be like, "Walk as slowly as you can. Don't let anybody look at your
Look
face."
nervous. I need you
Yes.
to look nervous.
Oh man, it's crazy. I'm sure she'll get there, but that is the weirdest rollout I've seen in a while. Um, but anyway, we have two shows to review from
Mm.
Marigold as
Yes.
they kicked off the Dream Star Grand Prix this past weekend
Woo!
with a double header at Edion Osaka Arena number 2. They did a nice ceremony, I think, to start the tournament. I think Rossi has always
Yeah.
been good about that. The big, here's our tournament kind of thing. Everybody got their entrance. They had a sash. They all stood in the ring. It was very nice. It was really good.
Yuzuki and Kazuna did a player ceremony pledge that they would try their hardest.
Yes,
That all of the wrestlers would try their hardest in the Marigold Grand Prix.
that's beast.
That's not what it's called, but
I keep doing that as well. It's so easy. I didn't watch any of the undercard stuff. That is just token
me
at this
neither.
stage. So we kicked off in the Dreams League with Bozilla
No, dude,
beating Kazuna Tanaka.
that's the
What?
Star League.
Oh yeah, the Star League. Oh my god. Yeah, sorry. I understand now. Star League, Bozilla beat Kazuna Tanaka in 5 minutes. I thought this was a fine David versus Goliath match. I
I
don't.
liked it.
I
I
thought
thought that like
people were down on it, and I was like, it was like,
yeah,
what did you expect? You know?
I thought it was very well done, especially by
Yeah.
Kazuna, given her like and especially given that this match happened 2 weeks ago and it was worse. Like this match was
Yes.
an improvement on their like random house show match, because it felt like Kazuna was a bit more smart about what she was doing, and like it was just like a. I thought this was better than the Misa match with Bozilla. Like I
I
liked
thought
it.
they were both well done for opening
Hmm,
matches. Where the babyface got
that's fair.
ragdolled a bit. You know.
Yeah, I really
Um.
like this match, frankly.
Yeah.
Maybe not
Okay.
really liked it. I thought it was a good match.
That's fair. Our next one was in the Dream League. Natsumi Shizuki and Victoria Yuzuki wrestled to a 15-minute draw. Um, I didn't
Natsumi
like this.
Shizuki, first of all, Natsumi Shizuki got a haircut and looks like the dude from Resident Evil.
Yes.
But she's rocking it. She's rocking it. I think she
Yeah,
looks great, but
she's
I
great.
just need to get that out.
Yeah, it was weird. It felt like they didn't click, and then it went 15 minutes. So the second
Mm.
half didn't make up for the fact that they looked like they were shooting on each other for a little bit because it was so awkward. And then yeah, it just kind of ended.
I thought it was fine. I got messages about like, oh, this was a weird match. Oh, this wasn't good. And I watched it. I was like, it was fine. It was definitely sloppy and like awkward early on,
Yeah.
but I thought that they started to click a lot better. By the time it was nearing the finish, I think they have a better match in them. Frankly, like
Mm.
I don't think this was like indicative of them not working well together. I think it was just like a weird start, which Yuzuki is susceptible to. I think. Um, Sometimes it just like there's just like an awkwardness to her early on in matches, which I think will kind of
I'm
be.
Yuzuki's biggest hater, I think,
Yes, you
because
are.
I am very much like, "You are, kinda bad." Like, "What are you doing?"
Which is
Um,
insane. Like she's not, but
she's
that's roughly
not, but
fine.
she used to be better than this, and I don't understand what happened.
Yeah, uh, I agree. I think we'll see what is going on with Yuzuki in this tournament, because I do think that it's like the end of her Stardom run was a bit better than some of what she's been showing in
Dude,
some
her
of her
debut
Marigold
was
run.
better than some of this. Like,
Okay,
that
well, her
Sumo
debut
Hall
was like
match
one of
where
the
she was
better debut
stunting,
matches.
remember the Sumo Hall match where she was going nuts? That was better than most of this.
That was also good.
That was
I don't know.
awesome, like,
She's a very good wrestler. I think
she
still. I
is.
think she might. I don't know. We'll see. I think she might have a interesting tournament of
Awesome.
discovery.
We stayed with the Dream League when Nori beat Koki in 10 minutes. I remember liking this. I thought Nori was interesting. I thought Koki was throwing them big boots, and I was like, you know what? That's really all I need from these two.
Yeah, I think they're both rough around the edges, but I think they both work quite well together, all things
Mm.
considered, and I enjoyed the match. Um, I think Nori, and I talked to somebody on Twitter about this, that I think Nori has like an insane amount of skill given how few matches she has. But because of how few matches she has, she doesn't have like the muscle memory or
Mm,
the instinct that you want to see in a pro wrestler. So you can see her thinking, um, which it isn't always a problem. I think that was the sole like weakness in her match against Mirai because I thought that match was fucking tremendous, and we'll talk about that later. But I think that's the one small thing Nori has against her is just like she doesn't have reps yet, and like matches like this are going to get her more reps. She's going to get more natural. She's going to get more comfortable. This was a good match, but yeah, I think that's the one thing that Nori has that she's lacking because them kicks, man,
mm,
them kicks.
that's fair. Our next match was in the Star League. Miko Iono beat Misa Matsui in 6 minutes. This never really got to full gear. Like this just
No,
felt like they were both going through the motions, which is really
Mhm.
disappointing given how good they both are.
And how
But
good
like
they are
they just,
together.
yeah, that especially. Like this just never did much, and then it just ended. I mean, it was six,
These first 2
7 minutes.
Aona matches were weird in that they just were like 4 minutes. Like I was like,
Yeah,
oh, okay. Like,
she had an interesting start to her tournament,
yeah,
so
and I
I
think
don't
this was
know,
the weaker of the two.
probably.
Misa definitely had a rough first day, I would say.
Mm,
Because yeah, I wanted this to be good, and like it was, but it wasn't anything more than just like, oh yeah, that was good,
yeah, that's fair.
and then it ended.
In the Dream League, then Mirai beat Chika Goto in just under 10 minutes, and I thought they did quite well here. I thought Chika was
I agree.
more than up to task to take it to Mirai.
Yeah, I totally agree. I thought this was a lot of fun. Gochka's just kind of sick. Like I kind of
Yeah,
foresee a Unimon-esque tournament where she just has a consistency level to her. Um, Obviously, that's like it might be a bit hard because she just wrestled the top two wrestlers in the tournament, or at least in the block. So it's gonna be hard to keep that momentum and that steadiness going. But I thought it was a very good match. Mirai,
hell yeah.
I
Um,
think Mirai keeps proving me right. Like like every time I see her, I'm just like, yeah, no, I think she was like the best value pick for this company.
that's fair.
Because like obviously
Well,
like
I
an
mean, well,
Utami is
yeah,
Utami, but like for someone who like you know wasn't like the obvious like, oh, she is like you know the best. I feel like she's the best. I think Mariah's like the best wrestler in the company right now.
wow, that's pretty strong. Okay.
It's hard
Um,
because there are a lot of good wrestlers in the company,
there it
especially
is. It is.
like I said, Utami and Nanai. But Mariah's just she's like that, man.
That's true. Speaking of like that, in the Dreamstar League, not Dreamstar League, Dream League, Nagisa Nozaki beat Utami Hayashishita in 9 minutes in a really good sprint. They just went in there and did their shit, and Nagisa Nozaki silenced the doubters. We were loyal. We stayed strong. We said we know Nozaki has it in her, and she finally showed up. And what better opponent than Utami?
Yeah, I man, knows a bitch is like that, just like Mariah.
Hell yeah.
And I'm not saying that as like that was that's her nickname. Um, Nozaki-sama, if you will. But yeah, she killed it here. I think that like we've said it, Nozaki has a high ceiling that she hasn't even like grazed yet in this company.
Hmm.
And I think this was like the first time that you really saw that, right? Um, I thought her and Utami obviously killed it as well. Worked surprisingly well together. I think that like stylistically they don't really have like a great foundation, but they proved me wrong even that they just like completely clicked and they worked and it was a lot of fun. Um, I really like this match. It was one of the best of the day show, and yeah, the tried and true with the Cobra Clutch suplex into the High Lancer. Love that shit.
Yeah, no, it was really good. Um, On to the main event, though. In the Star League, Mai Sakurai beat Nanai Takahashi in just under 14 minutes in our main event. This was great, man. This
Yeah, this was
was
very good.
Nanai was full passion monster mode, and Mai Sakurai was unleashed. This is a new woman, and she was taking it to Nanai. She's kept some of the cool moves that she pulled out against Julia. There was one point where Nanai just like clubbed Mai in the back of the head, and I just went, "This is it. This is wrestling right here." Like this was awesome. I had a great time with this.
My Sakurai's have I say it every week pretty much. My Sakurai's having an insane year. I'm not like it's pretty remarkable. She's her this Marigold run plus that Chanyota tag. She's just has been incredible. And I love this match. It was a tremendous match. I loved the crowd brawling. You forget my Sakurai, super good at crowd brawling.
Mm.
She's just like one of those under the radar like fighters like brawlers. Like she can brawl with a motherfucker. We saw it years ago with her against Risa Serra being like one of the most fun Risa Serra matches of that tournament, and she had some really good matches in that tournament. Uh, and just like stuff like that, like my Sakurai just really gets a lot of aspects of the more ruthless aspects of wrestling, which you don't necessarily expect. And Nanai is obviously Nanai. She's one of the best for a reason.
Mm.
There's a reason I said she's going to be one of the MVPs. And although it's early, this is the first match, and she hasn't had a second one yet. I think I'm pretty valid and I'm validated in that opinion because this was a very good match. I really enjoyed it. Ref stoppage, was valid. Nanai don't give up, and Sakurai continues to put over that STF. She got a double STF on it this time. She did the cross-legged STF. So I really like that she's kind of leaning into that. I think it's a good move for her to have in these sorts of situations.
Yeah, no, for sure. Um, we'll probably get to
I
talk
just
about these
realized.
matches. What?
I just realized I put a note that said Nanai should have won though, and I stand by that.
Damn,
Uh,
that's crazy. I'm all on board the My Sakurai push.
hey, I am
Um,
too, but Nanai should just win out. She should go on a Maika run, except
that's
better.
honestly pretty valid. We'll get to talk about these a bit more later. We're gonna try and keep a top three of the tournament as well. So we'll
Yes.
get to talk about how great they are. But first, I think we should just take our last break, and I
Sure.
can get some water because I like water.
Yeah,
It's good.
I'll do that.
So our second show to review then was later that day in the Edion Osaka Arena number 2. Uh, the attendance is always funny to me because the first one had 363 fans and the second one had 305. So 50 people just went home, which is always entertaining to me.
Yeah.
What was left was an awful crowd, by the way. I think these two shows are both marred by the fact that the crowd was just dead. Um, on this evening show specifically, Mirai and Nori were like grappling to start their match, and you could just see people slumped in their chairs in the background. It was so
Which is like
depressing.
I wasn't expecting much sound there because it's like that's kind of like with what like real grappling like that kind of times. But like yeah, like
Mm.
there were some people who were legitimately just like kind of just like hand in their head, like what the fuck are you doing?
They're going for a nap.
Like literally, at least watch the wrestling.
It was me at Rev Pro, just like sat with my head in my hands, going, "What am I doing here, man?" Um, but yeah, we kicked off the tournament action with a Star League match. Bozilla beat Misa Matsui in 6.5 minutes. This, as I said again, was another solid David Goliath kind of match.
Yeah, it was all right. I thought it was weaker, like I said, than the Kazuna one,
Was it
but
this
it
one
was
or
fun.
the Kazuna one with the apron like body splash
The
thing?
apron. Hmm. Oh,
Where
where
one of them
yeah,
went for a neck breaker and Bozilla turned it into a slam, and she was like on the
oh
bottom rope.
oh she did the what's it called, the Daga in one of these
Yeah.
matches.
Was it this one? I think it was. 'Cause I remember her posing and chatting shit
Yes,
to the crowd in this one. Okay, yeah. Because I remember being like, "That
I
is an
believe it
awesome
was.
spot. That is a great." And everybody was like, "Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that was kind of shit." And I was like, "Excuse me? Hello?"
no,
But
I thought that
all right.
spot was cool.
Yeah, it was.
But I thought just like generally the work was a bit weaker. I think they just kind of like
Right.
vibed less.
I think Bozilla's in tournament mode. She's like, "Hey, I've got to um, preserve my body," kind of thing. So she's chatting shit a lot more and just kind of winging it. And you can kind of tell because she hasn't done any of her big stuff. Like she was a lot more energetic in the tag and in these ones. But that's all right. In the Star League, Miko Iono went up to 4 points when she beat Chiaki in 6.5 minutes. And again, they just never got into full gear.
I like this
Chiaki,
quite a lot, even though it
really?
didn't have much like substance to it. I thought it was very well done generally.
Hmm.
I thought that like they hit on the points that I wanted them to, and I like that. And I like, I think Shiaki does the heel work pretty well.
She
I'm
does.
I'm 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 quite a big fan of how she incorporates it. I really like the claw slam onto the chair. I was like, she should just win. Why doesn't she just win? Like that seems like a perfect spot for her to just like cheat and win, and like be a proven threat early in the tournament before she loses a bunch. But instead, she's got kind of vanquished pretty quickly afterward
All
any
right.
of that. But yeah, I liked it
Yeah.
a lot for what
Chiaki
it was.
hasn't been impressive in like bursts, despite her
Mhm.
opponents not really bringing a whole lot. Um, I also love the look currently that she's got, the short
Yes.
hair, the
The new
headband, the
gear.
earring
New
thing.
gear. Yeah.
She is gender envy. If Chiaki, every time I see Chiaki, I'm like, that is not a she her, that is a he they. Like that is there is no way. That is a chaotic he they. You know what I mean? Have you
Well,
ever met a he they? They are chaos in a bottle. Like these
you're
people
not wrong.
are something else. So Chiaki just feels very he they. That's all I can really say.
And they always hit the pose, but
Yes,
with the
yes,
twist, with the twist. I'm doing the twist and the the
of
hand
course.
twist.
Yeah, the twist. Like
Um,
it's crazy.
but yeah, I thought she Chiaki's gear looked great. I thought she sold the leg super well. Not everybody sells as well as Chiaki does for Miku, and I thought that
Yeah.
just the way that worked was really cool.
Um, our next match was in the Dream League. Arai and Nori wrestled to a 15-minute time limit draw in a pretty great match. It did start with very heavy grappling, so I think you will either love this one or hate this one because the grappling was very extensive. But even I, notorious hater of grappling, didn't mind it. And once they got going, wow,
I
Nori
thought,
proved that
yeah,
she is right up there. That one kick, and everybody who watched this match knows exactly what I'm talking about. That one kick that looked like it knocked Mariah the fuck out. That was where you're just like, yeah, Nori is with it. Nori is definitely going to have a good tournament. Um, and I mean Mariah. What more is to say about Mariah? Like she's just so good. And yeah, this was probably up there for match of the tournament. I don't know where you're gonna go with that, but
that
it's
is
definitely in
my number one
contention.
right now.
Mm,
After first day, I think Mirai's grappling is deeply underrated. Um, I think here it worked super well. I will say I as like a grappling nerd, as a Tekkers nerd, I do wish there was more reason to it sometimes.
mm,
Um like I think that's the one problem with most wrestling grappling. In fact, this is actually the biggest problem I had during Shuri's title reign was despite the fact that she should be able to grab an advantage out of her grappling because she was a better grappler than literally everyone she faced, she never did. And it just
mm,
would lead to a stalemate and then it would be like, okay, let's get back up and wrestle a different style. It's like, why did you do that for 5 minutes if it doesn't work? If 10 times out of 10, it doesn't grant you an advantage or grant you any meaningful, you know, uh, uh, advancement in the match, why would you even engage in that? That is as my one problem with just like grappling kind of in general. But this grappling was so good that I didn't really give a fuck. Um, that it's like you know what, it's fine that you didn't get to work a leg in that grappling well enough to where the leg is now a target. Like I thought that just how well they did it was just like, man, like I just want them to keep going. Like they did a great job. And like I said, Mariah, super underrated grappler on the ground and whatnot. And yeah, I thought it was super fun. I loved that Mariah kept countering the kick to the head. Like she knew the answer for it. It was I'll say it in like video game terms. It's a slow startup animation, like Nori's finish kick
mm.
with the big spin kick. So Mirai ducks and lariats. That's the answer.
Yeah,
Nori can't win if I duck and if I lariat. And I was just like, that's great. That's great. You figured it out. Like that. Like like it's cool that like for once it feels like a wrestler just figured something out. That's like, oh, well, if I just think about it like this, like from a kayfabe point of view, this match was fucking magnificent. Like I thought it was
yeah,
it was super well worked, super smart, and it going 15 minutes makes sense. because like it just stylistically like it just was a very well done match. Like I said earlier, I think Nori has some of the small problems where it's like before she runs to the ropes, she's like, "Oh fuck, what do I do next? Oh right, I'm gonna run into ropes," and then she runs the ropes and does something, which I think is something that will change with time. I think she'll get better at that sort of thing with time. But
Mm.
I thought that just in general, this match, like both as a viewer who understands that wrestling isn't real, and also as someone who like theoretically, if this was real, it would make a lot of sense the way that they worked it, and I love that. I love that kind of grab both senses of that. Like this is the perfect UWF match. It wasn't a UWF
Oh,
match, but in the sense that it's like everything makes sense from that like realism, map based, shoot based realm. It all makes sense in that sense, but it's also just a fucking entertaining wrestling match. Like this sort of stylistic matches is why I like a good UWF match and why so many UWF matches aren't good because I
mm.
can't accomplish this.
Yeah. I mean, sure. Yeah, I'm with you. Kind of.
Yeah.
Not really. I don't. Good match. It was good. I agree
Yes,
on
it
that.
was a good
Yeah.
match.
Okay. Um, our next match was in the Dream League. Utami
Yes.
Hayashishita beat Chika Goto in 8 minutes, and again, Chika was just up for it. Like
Mhm.
she's bumping her ass off. She's fighting back. She's really an entertaining part of these matches.
I thought this match was very funny because Gochika didn't like she forgot that Utami's sneaky big.
Yeah.
Like she can't just swing her like a fucking like she's Kazuna. Like Utami's like, no, I have mass, homegirl. This is not gonna be easy for you. And then Utami got up and started swinging her. It's like, man, fuck you. That was like a really cool spot of Coach Chico being like so persistent and trying to swing her, and she barely could. And then Utami just slapped her and got her in a sleeper swing just to one
Just
up her.
drive
I
it
thought that
home.
was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought just in general the match was very well worked and a lot of fun.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it was a good match.
Yeah. Our main event then was in the Dream League. Natsumi Shozuki beat Nagisa Nozaki in 10 minutes. Another good match. Again, I think
Yeah,
Nozaki is just working a sprint kind of style in these tournament matches so far, and it's very pleasing.
yeah, I enjoyed this a lot. I thought Nozaki used her single leg drop kicks, the Lancers, if you will, super well, and I think Shozuki sold them
Mm,
even better. And I thought that like Shozuki just, her first two matches weren't anything like insane from her performances, but I did feel like she made them better, especially the Yuzuki match in the second half. It felt like she was able to like, control it and make it a bit more exciting, more energized. And I think that she did the same here. Because yeah, I was looking forward to this match and I was happy with it. It wasn't as good as like the My Sakurai main from earlier in the day, but I thought it was a lot of fun and it was cool to see Shizuki close the show.
Um, so, top three matches of the tournament so far. Uh, are you? What's your number one? I guess that's where we'll start.
Mine's Mirai versus Nori.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Mine is Maya and Nanai. They
Mm,
just did the thing, you know.
yeah,
I'm really into Nanai's match layout right now, so yeah,
same,
I had a
same.
good time with that.
That's my number two
Um,
is my Sakurai versus Nanai.
yeah, I think we just swapped again, like, cause yeah, Mirai Nori is my number two. It was really good. Number three, I guess, is where there's some options, but we might be the same again.
Mine is Nozaki Utami.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Right.
I thought
Yeah.
that match was tremendous. I think that was the one match that I was like really pissed at the crowd for because like people talked about Mariah versus Nori, but I think stylistically it made sense for why the crowd was a bit quieter because a lot of it was the intricate grappling that crowds are usually quieter for.
Mhm.
Um, Whereas Nagisa versus Utami, they were fucking bombing each other. You know what I mean? Not bombing in the bad way, like bombing each other in a cool way, in like the best way. Uh, well, because bombing in like entertainment means like
I
to
know, yeah.
do
Well,
bad.
okay.
So I realized,
I didn't actually think about that one. I thought.
Yeah,
one.
you thought of the worst. Yeah.
Yes, I was
Um,
like, why would that enter my
they
mind?
they were committing war crimes against each other in the good way, of course. Um, if there is a good, I let's move
All right.
on. But yeah, I thought they were like really like destroying each other and really putting in this like energized, exciting match, and the crowd just wasn't riding with it, and I was really pissed off about that. Because if the crowd was a bit more energized, the atmosphere was better. I think that would have been uh closer to the number one, frankly. Because I thought that the actual work itself was tremendous.
Okay. All right. That's fair enough. Um, we do have one Marigold show to preview.
Yeah,
Just
we do.
the tournament. I thought there might be two, but there's only one. In non-tournament action, Mirai and Kazuna Tanaka take on Chiaki and Myla Grace. You know, fair play to Myla Grace. I feel like she could have gone home during this just to like visit, but she's stuck around to work tags and improve.
I've
And I think
I've come
that's
along. I've come around on Mila Grace. I don't think she's great, but I think she's like a way better hand now than she was a couple months ago, for sure. Like I don't
mm.
mind seeing her around.
Yeah, no, it's not even like the that I don't mind it. I just think I have a lot of respect for somebody who chooses to
Mhm.
do this. Like she's not even in the tournament, but she stuck around, and I think that's really cool. Um, she's clearly like dedicated to making this work. So yeah, I hope she can keep making steps because I did think there was something there with her when I saw her kind of before
And Ireland.
Marigold, and she had a bit of a iffy time to start with, but she seems to be like taking steps, which is
Yeah,
cool.
for sure.
Um, then we start the tournament action. There's only one
This card's
non-tournament
kind of
match.
insane.
It is. We
Like
go
I'm
to the
looking at it, damn.
Dream League with Natsumi Shozuki versus Koki. Now I'm gonna
This should be fun.
pull up your thing. The blocks. Koki is
Guess I should
on
probably do that as well.
1. No, Koki is on 0, and Shozuki is
On
on 1. Is yours
0.
updated
Yeah, two,
properly?
yeah. Oh fuck! I didn't have the Nagisa
Oh,
match.
Suzuki had 2 matches. Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
my bad.
All right. Well, Koki kind of should win then, shouldn't she?
Probably.
Yeah, because it depends on how they're booking it, I guess. But you'd assume Shozuki drops.
I think Koki does need a win here.
She does, yeah. Have to.
Yeah, because Koki,
Yeah.
yeah, Koki has other matches that I think she probably has a harder time winning.
Okay.
Um,
Um,
so yeah, Koki can get the win there.
in the Dream League, then again, Utami Hayashishita takes on Victoria Yuzuki. Um, would it be controversial to say this is going to be another draw?
A little bit. I don't think I
Okay.
foresee a draw, but
I
I mean,
I kind of think they might do a draw.
Utami's already lost one, so a draw is
Yeah.
probably more likely than a Victoria Yuzuki upset. I would
Yeah.
really like it if they let Victoria Yuzuki wrestle to a finish, though.
That's true. I don't know. I
That'd be
just feel like
ideal.
they might draw to like get the numbers off a little bit. You know how they like to do.
Hmm. Yeah, potentially. Uh, I don't know. I think. Let me look at my little thingy. Um,
Okay.
I think Yuzuki could win this.
No, I don't think Utami drops again.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult sell to have Yuzuki win this. I think Yuzuki probably does just lose. I don't think they should do a draw. They might do a draw. I mean, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
deny
See,
the
they did
opportunity for
like
them to do a
2
draw.
draws already, didn't they? So I'm kind of just assuming you're gonna stick with that.
No, they only did the one, I think.
Was it? Oh, I thought it was a draw on the evening show for some reason.
No, just the one.
My mind was like you have sat through a draw, but in reality, I have not. Okay. Well
Maybe
then,
I think I'm eyeballing a different match for a draw.
okay. Well, we'll agree to disagree on this one. Um,
Yeah,
our next match is in the Dream League. It is Nori versus Chika Goto. Nori enters this one on 3 points. Chika has none. I wonder if Nori wins again and gets out to that like unbeaten start and then drops.
potentially. Um,
And like Chica, I know Chica is on 0, but I think she has winnable matches coming up. So
yeah. I think this was an interesting one. I think
mm.
either this one or the Victoria Yuzuki one has to go Chica's way. Um, we'll see. I'm interested in that. I think she could go to might get the win there, but I also expected Nori to win both of her matches on the first day. So
Yeah.
like she was a bit out in front and she needed to be kind of humbled a little bit. I don't think she needs that anymore because she's not out in front. Um,
She did beat Chica's partner though, so I think that could indicate that she's just
oh
above
wait, the
them.
draw was the Mirai match. That's what there has been two
Yeah,
draws.
yeah.
I
Oh
was
yeah,
I was
yeah.
dumb.
See, I knew.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. This one's a harder one because of the draws. I think. Uh,
Mm.
I think
I
I
think it's
think
just
she could go
Nori.
to
I think they'll just give it to Nori.
etc. Yeah, yeah, I think Nori could probably
Yeah.
win that.
Okay.
Because I
The
do think Nori
nine.
probably falls down the hill a little bit more
Yeah,
near the end of the
definitely.
tournament.
In the Star League, then Nanai Takahashi takes on Misa Matsuri.
This
Misa
is
is
what I think
currently
is a draw.
really
Yes.
of
I
all
think
of the
I think
matches that are happening.
I think Misa Matsui has been talking a lot about how that Nanai match was the best of her career, but she didn't get but she lost it. I think Misa
Mm,
I think Misa should win it, but Nanai already lost a match, so I kind of
yeah,
don't think Nanai win or loses two matches in a row like that. Um,
yeah, especially if she's a
so I
finalist. I
yeah,
think.
I think and or like a potential finalist at the very least.
Mm,
So I think maybe they go to a draw here, or maybe a Misa win and then Nanai just goes on a tear. That would be pretty cool.
yeah,
But I think
they might. I could
I
see
don't think Nanai
Nanai
should just win this.
drawing. Yeah, I could see Nanai drawing here to just, as I said, they like to get that odd number of points going into the last day sometimes, and you can get
Mhm.
her on that odd number with the
True.
draw
Yeah,
here.
I think Nanai could draw this. I don't think Nanai should win this. I think she should probably win like most of her other matches though.
Okay, that's fair.
Just because like
Keeping it.
I don't think Misa's gonna get that many big wins here.
That's true. Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah,
we're off to a rough start for her. So I would like her to get the Nanai win under her belt.
I get you. Um, Keeping it in Star League, Sari takes on Mai Sakurai. This is one of those where they'll either 50-50 it because Sari already beat Mai, or they're gonna wait for Mai's big win, and that will kind of just decide what they do.
Yeah. I
Um,
feel like Sari needs to win this one. It's her first match.
yeah,
I think you need to have a strong front to start
I don't know
the
though.
champion.
Is she not the proper candidate to drop her first match? Like, is that not exactly what you would do for the world champion?
She's undefeated in the company.
That's true, that is
I
true.
feel like I
Okay,
feel
maybe
like
she doesn't lose until
she
she gets Nanai. Maybe she's
I think she doesn't
wins
lose
through them.
until at least I don't know,
Wow,
which is in Korakuen.
okay.
Um, well, because the Alano match is 2 shows later. It's her third match, so it's not like she
Oh, I
beats Mai
have it
Sakurai,
wrong,
she
yeah,
beats
okay.
Chiaki, then she maybe loses to Miku or draws with Miku, and then from
Mm.
there there are chinks in the
And I
armor.
guess if you wanted on that last day, I think Mai Sakurai finishes high enough, but you could have her get tiebreakered out because she
I
lost to
think
Sareee or
that's
something.
I think that's where it's gonna be. Is I think she
Right.
loses to Sareee, loses to Bozilla probably, and
Yeah.
that makes it hard for her to really like do much that last day. But she's
Mm.
still high up.
Because she
Um,
probably beats Matsui on that last day, and then it's like uh, she like can't get through because of the tiebreakers or something. Yeah.
either she beats Matsui or she loses to Matsui. But either way, I think it's going to be like a close to the top, but just not
Hmm.
quite there. You know what I mean?
I'm with you. I'm
So
with you.
I think Sareee definitely wins that.
Okay. Star League then Miko Ayano beats Boz or no, Miko Miko Ayano takes on Bozilla. Um I could see Iono winning. I could see them doing the whole like Bozilla can beat everybody but Miko Ayano thing.
That's her kryptonite. Yeah, that'd be cool. It'd be starting Miko Ano off to 3-0. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, considering last week I was like,
Well,
oh yeah,
actually,
she's going 0
the
two.
O's
But
this is the
no.
O's gotta go. Because they're
The
both
what?
2-0 right now.
Oh
The
yeah,
O's
that's
gotta
true. Yeah.
go.
Oh, the always gotta go. That's crazy.
That's
Um
like a
it
sports
is.
thing.
Oh really? Okay. Um yeah, I think that this could be I don't know, I think they could set her up as, like, the one who can keep beating Bozilla.
I think that'd be cool. Plus, I think that allows for more like upsets down the line for Alano,
Yeah.
namely a Mai Sakurai and an Anai. I think that's Yeah, I agree. I think Miko Ano wins here. I think that'd be really cool. It would be kind of wild if Miko Ano, is fresh, couldn't beat Bozoa, but her after a 25-minute match with Mirai can,
Yeah.
which I guess kind of plays into like Bozilla's mental game, kind of fucking her up more than anything, because it's like, oh, I have this in the bag, and then she loses because she didn't have it in the bag. So it makes sense, but I can see either, but I think I might be leaning. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well.
Even though
Oh.
I'm not sure. Because, like,
Oh.
outside my Sakurai, the upsets, the 2 big upsets that could happen are gone. Like, she beat them both. Misa and
Uh,
Chiaki. She's
I
not gonna
think
lose to Kazuna.
she could
Other
just
than that,
drop
it's
to the
like, where
big
does she
ones.
lose?
Like Iono could just lose to the big stars instead.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see Nanai beating her on the final day and,
And also, didn't she challenge Mai? So I feel like Mai is going to
yes,
beat her. So that's like
correct.
a definite
Wait,
one.
why don't I
So
whatever. Wait, that's not right. The fuck?
what?
Oh, my spreadsheet's just a bit wrong.
Yeah, your
Okay.
spreadsheet that I'm looking at, you're not up, you're not on the ball here. Like, what's the story?
Oh, it's Bozo. Wait.
All right. Anyway, that is the show this weekend. I assume it's live. Where is it? No, it's not live. It's VOD, isn't it? Because it's in
Yes, it's VOD
Toyama.
by a day.
Yeah, so that'll be up the day after. Stardom is live, I assume. It's Korakuen, so we'll be able to keep track of everything for next week, and then we'll be back to discuss this GP show and the Stardom post 5 star, because we're gonna have a new blood to look ahead to. We're gonna have
I'm gonna have to wake up
an
early next
Aomori
Tuesday.
doubleheader. Oh, and they're running
Ouch.
Osaka #1.
Yeah,
Sweet shit.
that's the
Okay.
Micah versus Tam.
Great. Hopefully we have cards by then, because sometimes they are very bad at announcing cards for these shows.
Yeah, I
So
mean, if we
hopefully,
did this yesterday, we would have like just gotten the cards by like an hour.
yeah, literally. So yeah, hopefully by next Tuesday they have a card for that Osaka show, and New
You
Blood,
said
which I'd imagine
Tuesday?
they do. Tuesday, yes. Why?
Essex, motherfucker.
What?
I
What?
said you're from Essex because you said Tuesday.
It's very different. It is very different. You know what? Never mind.
Is
We'll be back next week to discuss these shows. But that is time to close the show. If you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in. Ijo.
Joe.